More showcases have been announced and shown off, and we get the chance to talk all about them. Let's not feed around the bush. Let's not wait. Let's get into it. Good morning, evening, or afternoon. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the XP Podcast, episode 25 for the third week of September 2022. I am your host, Mike C, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, the Birdman himself, Logan B. What's up?
Oh, what's up, everybody? Been a boring work week, but you got a lot of exciting news and sadly controversial news. But it is what it is in the gaming world. But I am very excited to talk about some of the new things, some of the showcases, and really get deep into the new Call of Duty. So.
Yeah, prerequisite for you guys out there, an update, or we said we were gonna do the next edition of our Open Critics Prediction Battle this week, but what we did not know is both Sony and Nintendo were gonna just randomly drop that they were doing events one day before they came out. So we don't get a chance to do that, but we do get a chance to talk about both of those events and what they had to show for us. So let's not take much time. Let's get into this. I want to dig into some of the stuff and talk about it. So as always, we start with the question of the week. And this week, with all these announcements coming out, with everything that we're starting to hear about this year and next year, I just wanted to sit down and ask Logan, what are your top three most anticipated games that you get to play for the rest of 2022? And prerequisite for me, I will not be including God of War Ragnarok because, duh. But so I'm gonna give you three that aren't God of War. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. But so, do you want to take it away? Or do you want me to shout
I
out?
can hit it
Okay.
real quick because yeah, some of mine are gonna be pretty easy, but I can't honestly. So many games have been delayed. It's hard to figure out what's coming out this year anymore. Um, Obviously, and this isn't gonna be in any order. I'm not gonna make it in order. I'm just gonna say my top three in general that I'm excited for. I am obviously excited for Mafia 2. Can't wait for that. Very anticipated. I mean, today's the open beta is what I want to call it. So hopefully I could play it today. So I'm very excited for that. Obviously, God of War, another very easy one to be very anticipated for. Um, and I think lastly, High on Life. I'm very excited for that game actually. As long as it actually comes out this year. It's coming out in December, which I feel like is literally the most iffy month in any game release. Like I feel like most of the time they get delayed when they hit that month. So I hope it does come out then. Um, but yeah, that's my top three most anticipated games. Most of the air games I'm very anticipated for have already all been delayed till next year. So that kind of sucks. I would give more interesting choices if they all weren't delayed till next year. What about you, Mike?
So I would like to say Call of Duty, but I'm excited to play it with you guys. That's pretty much it. And I'm just excited for Warzone. That's really what I want to play. I don't care too much about the regular multiplayer, although I will be playing it with you today when the beta comes out. So I'm excited just to get down and see what's new there. I'm gonna go and actually rank these games. Like says what? I'm gonna rank these games based off my own excitement. So my number three most anticipated game is Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet. I honestly believe that this game is going to be the best of both worlds in the Pokemon fan base. We're going to get more traditional Pokemon games and world design. Well, I guess not world design and structure with the world design of Arceus. And if they can actually do a good job of melding those things together, I think it can be the best of both worlds and not include much of the negatives that both of us had. Like most people know, I did not like Arceus. I couldn't get into it. I couldn't fall in love with it. I thought it was too empty, too boring, and I needed a little bit more of that traditional Pokemon aspect. And I get that hopefully in this one. My number two just got a new release date announced, and it's actually unfortunate because it's on the same day as High on Life, a game that I was very much anticipating to play. But unfortunately, I'm significantly more excited about the game I'm about to say that comes out on the exact same day. Brand new release date, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, the remake slash remaster, whatever they want to call it. I don't. It looks like a remake to me because it's massively different. Uh, of the old school PSP game that came out in like 2006, I think. I forgot exactly when it came out. It came out a long time ago. But wait, that's not right. Maybe it is right. I don't know. It doesn't matter. That one I'm very much excited for. Unfortunate that a release date happens to line up with another game I'll be excited about for, but that's the way that shit goes down most of the time. My number one most anticipated game, obviously not including God of War Ragnarok, is the Callisto Protocol. I can't wait for this game. There's some new controversy come out that I think is the stupidest controversy of all time. If you care to know, look it up. The creator came out on Twitter and said that he was very proud of his team for putting in the extra hours and everything to get this game out what they want. And you know, all the Karens came out and were screaming about crunch and everything like that. And I'm like, well, it's not exactly crunch if the team is, you know, wanting to do the work. So, but anyway, outside of all that, I can't wait for this game. I think it looks fantastic, and I think it is going to really blow people's socks off. So, those are my three. If I wanted to shout out a game that I'm excited for as like a honorable mention, I will say none other than Gotham Knights itself.
That hurts.
Dude, the more that comes out about this game, and the more I see it, I'm like, you know what? I actually do think this game's gonna be good, and I think it's a lot different than people give it credit for. But I've talked endlessly about that. So the marketing is pretty bad on the game, but also it's about people deciding ahead of time what a game's gonna be, and instead of letting the game be what it is. So if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but again, I think if they should have marketed it a little bit better.
Oh,
'Cause from what
absolutely.
I heard is there's like a great story behind it, but they're not showing any of that. They're showing these very weird, clunky things. And I actually watched something and I watched a video on this. Man, the dialogue they do for the enemies is the most cringy dialogue I've ever heard. It's bad. Like just bad. Like not good at all. So I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of faith for it, but that's not my thing. I'm excited for you because I know you'll probably like this game because it's got that, in my opinion, like Avengers esque thing to it. So I think you'll like it no matter what. And honestly, who cares? Even if it scores bad, you're still gonna like it. That's all that matters. It doesn't really matter
Well,
what
that's
other
not
people
true.
think.
I'm excited about it. Whether I like it or not,
Yeah,
I guess we'll see in October 20th or whenever I get to
I
play
feel
it.
like you will,
I hope
which is
so.
nothing wrong with that. Like, I mean, I know I obviously will not like it, but that's not. It's not my choice. It's you, your own opinion.
Oh,
So, yeah.
you do love me.
So,
That's sweet.
but
Well, I
I
hope
guess
all.
I'll do an honorable mention. I guess pretty easy. I guess I'll just say Pokemon. Clearly, that game I am pretty excited for. I don't know if I'll get it day one or anything like that. Maybe I'll ask for it for Christmas. That might be a good one actually. So, but yeah, I mean
Oh,
that's probably my
yeah.
honorable mention.
Pokemon is the day one. November, I'm not too worried. It's that last week in October that I'm still trying to figure out how I want to go about doing it. And I guess maybe it will be that I don't know if I'll get Modern Warfare 2 day one. Because like a week before, there's two games that come out that I actually really want to dig into, like Gotham Knights and New Tales from the Borderlands. Knowing that, you know, obviously, well, not obviously, hopefully, New Tales from the Borderlands isn't like a fucking 30-hour game or anything like that. Hopefully, it's a 10 to 12-hour experience and I can get in and get out pretty quickly. But Gotham Knights is probably, you know, 20, 30 hours at minimum. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll try to figure out how to go about it. As long as everything's done by the 9th, that's all I care about. Actually, you know, by the 8th, because we got Sonic Frontiers, big one. Hey, there was a new trailer that came
Sonic
out.
Frontiers, woo!
That new trailer actually wasn't terrible, but I still still think the game kind of looks
Dude,
bad.
watch that game just come out and actually blow everybody away.
Dude, I'm
Like
ready
with
for it.
all these horrible things. Like I would be very impressed. Like I won't be mad. I'll just if it actually comes out and ends up being very good. But everything is pushing like the sign towards not so great.
All right.
So
Let's dive into the show proper. Those were our top 3 most anticipated games if you take out God of War. So, I don't know if that counts. Let's say top 4 or 5. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this is the XP Podcast, our weekly video game and pop culture news podcast where Logan and myself sit down with y'all and talk about all the news stories and happenings inside and out of the video game world. We post a new episode each and every week so you can listen to it whenever you want to. You can find us on most of the popular podcasting services, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. If you enjoy what we're doing here on the XP Podcast and the Experience Point as a whole, please support us over on our Patreon, where you can get the where you can be a part of our weekly discussions and give us your opinions on everything we talk about and everything we don't. You'll also be able to find all of our uploads there, along with any exclusive episodes we may post. Links for that are in the description down below, or you can simply go to patreon.com and search Experience Point, spelled capital X, capital P, ERIENCEPOYNT. However, if you don't have any money to send our way, don't worry. We still love and appreciate you for listening and being a part of what is hopefully a growing community. You can also go over to our YouTube channel where you can get this show and all of our shows in video format. If you do, please don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you can be aware of everything we post when we decide to post it. New episode reminders for you. Last week's episode, we dug into the showcases for Disney and Marvel games, Ubisoft Forward, and the Cyberpunk one. Yeah, those were the 3. So you can go over to that and listen to what we had to say about them. Not a lot of positives coming our way, but don't worry. We
yeah.
get to be, well, I get to be much more positive this week, so I'm happy about that. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's get into the show. In the news, this week we talk about all things showcases once again. Nintendo and Sony drop surprise showcases on us, and we have our reactions to both of them. Plus, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 had its big coming out event this week. TGS 2022, also known as Tokyo Game Show, happened, and Yakuza is no longer Yakuza? Question mark. But so much more. So, before we get to all that, as always, what is and forever will be What You Been Doing, where we catch up on all things pop culture that we've been doing, whether that be gaming, TV shows, movies, books, or comics. It doesn't matter to us because we like it all and love to talk about it. So, Mr. Birdman, you said before this show you had been doing a lot of things, so let us know what you've been doing.
All right, well, I'll start with the most boring and probably the worst of news. I beat Saints Row. Um, yeah, that was it was a game.
So,
Very disappointing.
last time we talked, you were a little defensive about it. You were defending the game, saying, obviously it has a lot of problems, but it's not as bad as everyone say it was. It sounds like maybe your opinion has changed on it now. So let me know what's going on over there.
Yeah, I mean, basically to summarize it, it's like they literally tried to make a Saints Row game, but then they looked up spreadsheets and said, what does the wide audience of the entire world prefer instead of what the Saints Row people prefer? And they made a game off of spreadsheets, and that's pretty much what it is. It's like a really bad sitcom that is Saints Row, and they try so hard. Like some parts are like getting like decently close to what Saints Row was, but then it just instantly, like as soon as you start to feel like, oh, it's getting there, it goes right back, and it's not good. Like I'm not gonna do a full review for this game. I don't really care to. I'll still write up a little score for it and everything.
Yeah, we'll have it as a
Um,
little point in the show. You can talk about it for 10 or so minutes, give us your positive, give us your negative, then put an official score on it. Why not?
but yeah, it's just it was just so disappointing. I mean, I after when Last of Us Part 1 came out, I switched over to that game, played it, beat it, really loved it.
That's
And
that's probably a harsh comparison.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, so then, like, and then, a lot of other I was playing like Call of Lamb and all that, and then yeah, Saints Row, I went back to it this week, and I'm like, man, I'm just gonna beat it. I'm just gonna get through it. I'm gonna beat the game and just beat it. And yeah, I beat it. And this game is exceptionally short. Also, is that kind of game where they force you, which I do not like at all in most open world games. I really don't like it. Uh, More and more business ventures is what they call it. They're basically little side missions you can do. Um, they all kind of like are boring, just really, really boring. I The world again, I will admit, is still better than Saints Row 3, but that doesn't really do much when the whole game is not really that good, in my opinion. Like, yeah, I'm just kind of disappointed in it by a lot. I beat it and I'm like, yep, that was an ending. All right. Very lame, very boring, just not a good game almost at all. So I'll have a little short review for it. Probably not going to score well, spoiler alert. But I'll still write it out,
Yeah, we'll
make a
definitely
short little
be,
thing on it.
definitely look at it from a critical eye and, give it the score that you feel like it deserves.
Yeah.
Regardless of how excited. That's what I'm gonna do with Gotham Knights. Regardless of how excited I am for it, I'm going to, when I write down my view and when I try to figure out what score I'm gonna give it, I want to be critical so all listeners out there can always know that no matter what we're excited for, what we're not excited for, we will always look at things through as much of a critical eye as we can. Sometimes that's hard, a la a game that comes out November 9th. It's gonna be hard to look at that with a critical eye, but I will try to. Um,
That's fair.
uh, let's go back and forth because there's one thing that I think we should have both watched. So I'm gonna throw out my first one here and hope you've seen it as well. Have you started watching Cyberpunk yet?
I watched the entire thing.
Okay, I'm only 5 episodes in. I've been watching 4 different TV shows. So I've been bouncing around between it, but what do you think?
Dude,
It's good.
absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. Like, it's so freaking good, and I really hope they get another chance to make another show because this is a one and done kind of thing. It kind of already was going toward that, so it's not much of a spoiler. It's just how it is. It's just a one and done kind of show. But I really hope they do something more with this because, dude, I loved it a lot. Every bit of it was awesome. I think the only thing I can really say that I really didn't like was for an anime, I think the intro is kind of bad. It's not really that exciting. I think the intro for most animes is like the big thing. So
Yeah, yeah, it's really
I
happened.
think it's kind of boring and lame, and Amy even agrees. I had Amy, the anime expert, with me, the one
Oh,
that she watches
okay.
all these animes. So I had to agree with her. The intro is kind of boring. I mostly skipped it because I just did not care. Like I watched it all the way through the first time, and then I skipped it from then on because I just did not care. It just wasn't that good.
I
But the
I haven't.
show, the
I
action, the art style, so freaking good, dude. Like I loved every bit of it. It was awesome. It made me want to go back and play Cyberpunk because man, it was awesome. I loved it.
well, it's what we were really talking about. I don't think it was last week. I think it was the week before when we found out the review. It's because regardless of what happened with the game, whether you like it or not, whether all the glitches and all the things that happened with it because of it's a game, take all that out, and it's still just an incredibly interesting world to be in and setting to have any sort of media in, whether that be games, movies, anything. Obviously, it all started out as a board game, um, and it's just a testament to the guy who created that board game. His name is Mike something. I don't remember what
Yeah.
his last name was. It starts with a P. I don't remember, but it's a testament to his world design and his lore building that we are now at a point in time where cyberpunk is becoming a multimedia entity, and it's interesting because of all the world that he was able to build and design around that board game. So props to that man. I would say I don't mind the intro as much as you guys. I will admit it's definitely not like I don't know Attack on Titan season 1 levels of just absolute fucking hype going into it. I do like the music, so that's why I watch it. The actual like intro design or cutscene or whatever you want to call it, um, yeah, isn't that great. It's definitely not Cowboy Bebop or anything like that. But I do
Dude,
like,
Cowboy Bebop has an amazing
dude,
intro.
it's so
Oh,
good,
it's so
dude.
good.
It's so good. But I do like the music. I will have to give a shout out to the song called "Let Me Down," I believe it's called, the one that plays over the outro credits. That song is freaking fire, man.
Yes,
That
yeah.
song is so legit. I watch the
Dude,
credits
all the
every single
music for
episode.
this show is so fire.
Yeah, and that well,
Dude,
I mean, that comes I think with the territory of an anime. Like at least for me, I expect there to be good music in an anime. Um, I guess I haven't watched enough anime to really be hypercritical about it. I've watched quite a few, but I haven't like dug into a whole bunch of them to be hypercritical. But most ones I watch have really good, catchy music at the front end and the back end, and then within the show. But yeah, I agree with most of what you're saying. Well, in fact, I guess I agree with all of what you're saying. I will say if I'm being hypercritical on something, um, I will say, in my personal opinion, the characters don't get as much depth as I would want them to. It's a very fast-moving show. Characters come in and out pretty quickly. Spoiler alert: some people die, and you just don't get a huge amount of time with I guess would say the non-main characters. Like there's two main characters of the show that you really get a lot of time and spend a lot of time with. One shout out that caught me completely off guard is one of the voice actors is none other than Giancarlo Esposito. The man, the myth, the legend is the man, the myth, the legend himself. When I started hearing his voice, I was like, "Holy shit, he's in this!" And I don't know if you watched, or if you watched it on the Japanese voice or not. I watched it on the English because that's who I am as a person. But
oh no, that's what I watched into. I watched it in
yeah,
English, which by the way, they have a lot of voice actors from other animes in it, and they're all really, really good. Like they have three of the characters in the show are from Demon Slayer, and they're actually the three main characters from Demon Slayer, which is super cool. And they had Meliodas voice actor from Seven Deadly Sins in one scene.
yeah,
We all caught that. So they have some really good English voice actors, which was made me really happy because I'm not gonna lie, Netflix isn't the greatest at sometimes getting English voice actors for their stuff. So I'm really impressed that they picked good people, in my opinion. So
yeah. But
I don't know
the
their names.
my
So
short answer is that I'm 5 episodes in. I would have been done with it if I hadn't been doing all kinds of other stuff. But yeah, it's great. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's exactly what it looked like it was gonna be after that first trailer. Just a fucking just pure chaos. It's just there's shit happening at all times. But it does have, I said, especially with those two main characters, that being David, and
David, yeah,
the female lead, whose name I literally can never.
Lucy,
Lucy? I always thought
yeah.
Lola, but it's not Lola. It's
Well,
definitely
there's yeah, Lucy, and I can't remember the other girl's name. There's another girl.
yeah.
I think it's like
But anyway, those two interactions and the conversations that happen between those two characters, I I'm loving so far, and I think it's all fantastic. So I can't wait to finish it off in the next day or two. But yeah, short
I
answer is
totally
so far it's great.
I totally agree though. It definitely I do kind of wish they gave the show a little bit more time. Maybe made it a two season kind of thing. But because I feel like they could have touched on a little bit things, made things a little bit drawn out more characters and maybe showed more development. Um, but I think they only probably had like a contract to make a one season kind of thing, so they had to fit all that in. And I think for making it a one season kind of thing, I think they did a pretty dang good job. But yeah, I do wish I agree with you 100%. I do wish it was a little bit longer and it had a little bit more drawn into it. But I mean, for what they had and for what they probably could do, damn good, so good.
Yeah, it seems like they had to balance quite heavily the world design and well, not design, the world building aspects of the show and the character development aspects of the show. And I think at some of the more pivotal points, they decided to focus on the world building. Um, with, like you said, this is a one off, so I guess with the intention of, piquing people's interest deep enough that they want to see more, whether that be through another game or another TV show. So I do think it's the right decision. It's just, the the equation of that of putting all that in, the outcome is, you lose out on some of the more side characters or sub characters real definition and all that when you focus a lot on the world. But again, I'm fine with it. So just
Yeah, I
me being nitpicky.
especially love that they used almost every video game sound from Cyberpunk in
Oh my
there.
god, the
Every
calls,
time I hear
the
the call,
menu.
dude, like I kept getting so much fun. Like, every time anything popped up that I like see in the game, like, and I love that it all took place obviously in the same city, and you just seen a lot of locations that you've seen in the game while watching it. Which, by the way, you can literally go visit just about almost everything in that show
Yeah,
in the game,
I,
which
w-
is amazing.
I was watching some videos of some people where they visit all the different areas, and even in the show there was one where it was, I think it was the third or fourth episode, when the main character is driving really fast in a car trying to escape some people, keeping that as vague as possible. He gets on an exit ramp, and I'm like, hey, I've been on that exit ramp.
Yeah, dude, that's what I love about it. I just love all like the Easter eggs and things you could see. I love all like you could see the vending machines; they look the exact same. I love the sound effects that they're doing and everything.
Oh,
I was getting so much vibes from the gig thing when you're getting that call and
yeah, the
everything. He's
phone
like,
call,
"I have a
man,
job for you."
the
I'm
phone
like, "This is
calls,
so Cyberpunk 2077." It was so good. I'm
and I
really happy. Oh, and I forgot. No, dude, this is by far the most impressive thing. Like, this blew my mind when you see the hacking scenes, look at it. It's literally the B1 thing where literally you're doing the quick hacks thing. Like,
oh
you
yeah,
literally see her doing it. I
absolutely,
was like,
yeah.
that's amazing. I love that they did that because, like, that's exactly what you do in the game. Like, it's so
Well,
cool.
that's
Like,
that's that's the biggest praise that I was kind of working my sentences around to get to, and I think this show works twofold. Works on both aspects that I'm about to say. It works as an individual piece of media that you can just simply enjoy and get to know this world and these characters through this piece. But then I also think it works exceptionally well as something that we don't see a lot in these adaptations. It works as a companion piece to the game incredibly well. Like, it doesn't stand, it at the same time stands on its own and then doesn't stand on its own at the same time. If you're trying to understand what I'm trying to get at here, you know, again, like I said, if you are just brand new to the world of Cyberpunk and you watch this for the first time, you're like, oh, this is super, super cool. I wonder what else is out there. But then it also works so well as it feels intricately linked to the game, like we're talking about, especially in terms of visual styles, with everything that CD Projekt did in that game, with the calls, yeah, the menus, the hacking, everything. It feels just uniformly linked to that game in a way that a lot of other adaptations can't capture. But then again, at the same time, it does work, as I said, as an individual piece of media, which I think is rave. I think it's just a. It's very rare we see an adaptation work so well with both of those stances. It's usually one or the other. But this one, I think, toted that line and was able to work flawlessly well in both medias. That's the
yeah, I totally
best.
agree with that.
Yeah, that's the most rave thing I can give about it. So, all right, what else do you got next, man? We'll do a
Well,
more
I
in-depth review topic on that. We'll go through and we'll put a score on it and review the whole show. But it spoiler it, we're both gonna be pretty high on it. So what else you got?
I caught up with Game of Thrones. Or no, sorry, not Game of Thrones. House of Dragons,
House
basically
of
Game of
the
Thrones.
Dragon.
The Dragon. Um, damn, dude, that's all I gotta say. Wow,
It's
they
good,
they
man.
brought back
It's
Game of Thrones. They brought it back, and I'm so happy. I really loved it. I mean, I was so into it that I stayed up to a very, very late time watching it because like I was just addicted. I wanted to catch up. Like I started the second episode. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna watch the second episode. And then next thing you know, I'm on the fourth episode and I'm about to finish. I'm like, oh, all right. I've been watching this for a long time, haven't I? It was super good though. I really, really love it so far. It gives me all the vibes from literally what Game of Thrones was. I'm really happy with it. I think they're doing an insanely good job with it. I think the action's amazing. I think the storytelling's really great. It's very interesting how they're doing it too with the whole time jump thing. I don't think it's as excessive as like most shows would be, where it's like, oh, here's this excessively huge time jump. Like there's time jumps, but it's not like excessive. Like it's pretty good. I think it's really good for the kind of story they're telling. Um,
Well, it definitely
yeah, I
gives out
think
the vibe that there's a lot of story that they have to get through.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
so that's why the time jumps are there. And like I said last week, give the show all the credit in the world. What should be convoluted with how much it's technically jumping around in the timeline, well, not jumping around, just moving forward, I guess. Uh, it doesn't feel jumbled, or it doesn't feel like you really missed anything. It really does feel like you're getting the most important aspects of this 170 years that I'm guessing the show is trying to detail. So,
yeah, and it's so freaking good. Like, dude, that I'm not gonna ruin anything. Episode where they're fighting, uh, on that island.
oh, the battle,
Wow,
yeah,
dude,
the
that
sea snakes
scene
battle.
was awesome.
Oh wait,
Like
no,
I was
not the
like,
CX, the stepstones. Sorry, the battle of the
yes,
stepping stones.
yeah, dude, it was sick.
It's
I
good
was
shit.
like, that was awesome. So yeah, I'm really loving it. Obviously, super good. I'll wait to give it a full thing on it whenever it's fully finished. But wow, I'm really happy with it. Um, Still sad that Game of Thrones ended as bad as it did, but whatever, its own thing, I guess. And so at least I can enjoy this, hopefully, and hopefully they end this better than Game of Thrones did, which I'm sure they will. I can tell these people seem like they know what they're doing. So I'm really happy with it again. I really love it. I love all the characters. I think the storytelling is great. It's got all the vibes from Game of Thrones, where it's very airy. You don't know who's gonna die. You don't know what's gonna happen. It's just interesting. It's great. I love the lore. I love the world, and I'm excited to basically catch up with it again. I think they came out with a new episode today, correct? So I'll probably be watching
It'll
that.
air at I think they start at 8 or 9 is when it'll go live tonight.
Okay, so
Yeah.
maybe I'll watch it tonight. We'll see. If not, I'll watch it tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, awesome. Really love it. I'm happy I caught up with it. So freaking good.
I saw this really funny meme or TikTok or whatever you want to call it, but it was a guy Viserys, the current king, the man sitting on the Iron Throne. It says, "Man, this guy just wants to sit in his room and build his Legos, but all these MFers are stressing him out."
Yeah,
And it
it's
made me
so
laugh a lot.
true though.
Hey, let me say, obviously it's not him. It's not Patty Constantine doing it, but man, that ability to stonework that's fucking impressive. Every time I see that stonework Lego thing, I'm like, man, that took a lot of time and effort. That guy's got some talent. It's really cool. It's a really cool
Yeah,
little aspect of the character.
yeah, that was really good so far. So gaming, what I've been doing. This is a little, well, I mean, it still is exciting. I've been trying to get back into playing Call of Duty again so I can start getting back used to Modern Warfare. So I actually went back to Modern Warfare 2019, and I've been playing it the last 2 days because Modern Warfare 2 excited me so much. I went back and started playing 2019 again. Um, Man, I do kind of miss that game a little bit. It was actually really fun. I've been getting into it again. It was definitely a struggle at the beginning because I've been kind of out of practice with first person shooters for a little bit. So I kind of got back into it. I really am enjoying it. And I end up getting and pre ordering the Modern Warfare 2 game. So whenever that releases, I will be ready and down to play. And I will be playing the beta on the Xbox whenever that second week begins. So I'm very excited for it. Um, and I've also been playing some Battlefield again. I played a couple hours of Battlefield last night, and I really enjoy it still. Like again, I'm more excited for the next season to come out, but yep, been playing that. It's really fun. I was doing really good. I feel like they've done something to the guns because the Scar isn't as dog shit basically as it was. So now it's actually like pretty good. I was actually using it the other day. Um yeah, I mean that's pretty much been it this week. I know I said I was doing a lot. I guess now that I think about it, playing Call of Duty Battlefield wasn't a lot, but I still played it. It was really fun. I was just getting back into it, practicing before I played Modern Warfare 2 beta. I wanted to just be a little bit more prepared so that when I get into it, I don't just get demolished instantly. Um, but yeah, we'll be talking more about Modern Warfare 2 soon. So other than that, yeah, that's been pretty much it this week. Just, I mean, played a lot of first person shooters, beat a very disappointing game, and watched some great shows. So, what about you, Mike?
So yeah, I'll wrap up the TV section that I've been doing. Outside of Cyberpunk, obviously, I'm still watching week in and week out. Yeah, House of the Dragon and Lord of the Rings of Power. Uh, Watched both of those new episodes. My opinion still hasn't changed on anything of what I've said about those. Started watching finally Outer Banks season 2. It's a show that I've been trying to get Logan to watch, but I don't think he's ever gonna do it. I think the show is a fantastic show, and I'm really enjoying all that. Obviously, like I said, been watching Cyberpunk, and finally on the old TV track. Logan's gonna love this next one. I started watching the new Netflix romantic comedy workplace drama called Partner Track, which is the worst name of all time. That's not true. There's a lot of bad things, but it is a show about I don't know. It's a show about an Asian American woman in a law firm and all her trials and tribulations with love and workplace. And it's one of those shows that I'm like, yep, that's what I want sometimes in TV shows, especially at a time now where I am kind of taking a smaller break from gaming. I'm not playing as much as I had recently, just trying to get myself ready for what we're about to go through in the next couple months here once the end of October hits. So just trying to catch up on a lot of that stuff that I've been missing. Small update from that from last week. I haven't watched any more She-Hulk because I don't fucking want to. Uh, it's just
That's fair.
basically I just don't fucking feel like it. I don't. I'm at the point in time now, my dude. Am I gonna watch any of these shows? Like I'm not excited about the
I
shows. I'm not.
dropped off from it.
I'm like I'm
but
I'm, I'm not excited about the shows. I'm passively excited about the movies anymore. I'm like, dude, what's going on over there? But gaming wise, two things to talk about. One of them we've already talked about ad nauseum, so I'm not going to continue to talk about anything more in depth. But Peyton and I have beaten The Last of Us Part One and are about a little over 3/4 of the way through Left Behind. We had to stop because of old football yesterday, or else we would have beat it. But yeah, I'm right on the cusp of getting the platinum trophy. Should get it by the time Left Behind. Not should. I will get it by the time Left Behind is done. But we collected everything, all the notes, all the Firefly, everything has been collected in this game. It's the first time uh, that I'm getting to see every single thing that the game has to offer. Didn't miss anything. So, yeah, I got some new information on that. And like I said before, it's The Last of Us. I love it. And this didn't waver my opinion at all. Second thing, I downloaded and played the demo. Well, a little bit of the demo. I played about 30 to 45 minutes of the demo that was released for Valkyrie Elysium. It's a new RPG coming from Square Enix set in the old Valkyrie Profile. I think that's the name of it. Yeah, Valkyrie Profile series. That started all the way back in 1996. It's a pretty important franchise in the JRPG genre, which those of you out there know is I love. So I wanted to sit down and see what this game had to offer. And my short opinion on it is it's perfectly fine. If you like JRPGs, well, this one's a little bit more, not a little bit more, this one's much more action based. Got combos, got status effects, got all the nerdy things you love in there. And if you like that, you are going to love it. The story and the world, I can't say too much because the demo really is focused on you coming to grips with what the combat is, and it really goes out of its way to show you all the different things you can do with the combat, the different combos, like I said, different type elements. Every single enemy in the game is weak to something, and most enemies have one weak point that you have to target. So it's an action-based combat system that's very focused on you knowing what's going on and your positioning on the battlefield. You can easily get overwhelmed by enemies. So you got to pay attention to your positioning, pay attention to what enemies, or what enemy you're trying to take out, and if you have the right counter attack queued up and ready to go. But so far, I did enjoy it. But like I said, it is really just another decently done JRPG from my perspective. Not going to blow anyone out of the water. We're not talking about Tales of Arise level of just immense quality here. But for those of you out there that like JRPGs, it should be a good 20 to 30 hour experience when it fully launches later this month. But that's it. That's all I've been doing. Any reactions you have? You going to watch Partner Track there, Logan?
Definitely not.
Damn. Hey, dude, it's starring Arden Cho, who I fucking love as an actress, and she was a big part of another show that you're definitely gonna want to sit down and watch. She was the Kitsune in Teen Wolf.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what Teen Wolf is? Come on, yeah, you do.
No, I don't. I'm
No.
sorry.
Well, you should know what Teen Wolf is. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to. But so yeah, you should watch Partner Track. Are you ever gonna watch Outer Banks?
Probably not.
Dude, it's not what you think it is. It's actually, if you like treasure hunting movies, which I know you do, you will love this.
That's fair.
Like you liked quote unquote Uncharted, and you really like National Treasures. We've talked about it before. You are
Yeah.
going to like this show if you just give it a chance. Yes, it does have your teenage drama aspects to it. But if you try to ignore all that, I don't think it needs to be ignored. I actually think they do a really good job with the relationship building and everything like that. But if you look past all that and just focus on the treasure hunting aspect of it, it's still a fantastic show in that regard. But I will back down. I'll surrender. If you watch it, please let me know. I'll be excited to talk about it with you. But all right, anything else, man? Before we dig into some of these showcases that we got to watch this week and some of the news that we get to talk about.
No, I don't think so. But I mean, again, I'll try to get to Outer Banks. But dude, I have so many other shows on Netflix
There
I still
is,
need to
yeah,
finish.
there
I
is
still
a
need to watch Ozark. I still haven't finished that, and that's like 4 seasons, and that's a long show. And I still need to watch Peaky Blinders, which I heard is really good. So
you
I need to watch that
do
as well.
definitely need to watch Peaky Blinders. Definitely watch Peaky Blinders before Outer Banks. Uh,
That's fair.
well, I think they're both pretty darn great TV shows. Peaky Blinders definitely the better one. Full stop. All right. So, last chance, going once, going twice. Anything else, sir?
Nope,
All
nothing
right.
else.
All right, guys. Well, that was it for what you've been doing. Let us know down below what you guys have been playing, what you guys have been watching. Have you been enjoying it? Again, as always, what do you think of some of the new shows that we're getting week in and week out? And let us know if you're going to jump into the Call of Duty beta that Logan and I are about to jump into pretty much as soon as we get off recording this episode. So, can't wait to talk to you guys about all that next week and hear what you guys have been doing down below. But right now, we're going to move into, as always, Around the Point, where we here at the Experience Point go around the video game world and give you the news that you need to know. All right, first up on Around the Point, like I said at the top of the show, we got surprise announcements of both the Nintendo Direct and a Sony State of Play a mere one day before they were released to the world. So without further ado, let's dive on in to both of these events. We're going to talk about these events a little bit more informally, just in terms of expedience sake. So, expediency is what I meant there. So let's go ahead and jump right into these. Go ahead and give me a quick reaction to the Nintendo Direct as a whole.
Um, oh, whoa. I guess I didn't see some of this stuff. What the heck? Maybe I might have missed a few things in the showcase. I would say if I had to put a score on, well, I'm not gonna put a score on it. I'm just gonna say what I think it is. I thought it was pretty good. You know,
Put a
I mean,
score on
they
it.
showed some.
I'm gonna
They,
put a score on
I'll
it.
say, I'll say 4 out of 5. I think
Okay.
it was pretty good, or not pretty good. It was good, and I feel like they showcased a lot of kind of some surprising stuff in there, and I'm like, oh. especially some that like me and Mike talked about that we didn't think they were ever gonna make again. Certain game called Pikmin. So yeah, I mean there was
Yeah, it's back.
surprising stuff in
DJ
there.
can finally rejoice. We'll talk about him. We'll talk about that with him. Uh, hopefully in the coming weeks, whenever we get to the next Open Critics prediction battle episode. But yeah, I'm sure he is foaming at the mouth. Can't wait. I can't believe it's real. But yeah, I'm a little bit lower than you. I mean, I really only have one major complaint, but it was a complaint throughout the entirety of this show. I'm at a 3.5. Again, I think this was a good show, but it did have some annoyances. But then it did have those huge moments. Well, not huge moments, but really good moments where they announced a lot of cool games that I'm excited for. My only real big negative that keeps me from putting it in a 4 or 4.5 or anything higher than that was, I would say, 20 minutes out of this 42-minute show, whatever the final runtime was a lot of the same thing. There was a lot of, farming sim, world sim, JRPGs. And I'm like, man, we're getting 8 games that are in this genre. And that was my really only complaint. It felt like a lot of the games were very similar. And there was just a point at a time when I was watching this, I was like, okay, so everything is a farming sim now, I guess. So outside of obviously the main ones that we're talking about, like I said, there was like 20 minutes or so, and where it was just game after game. I was like, oh, okay, so this is exactly what we just saw, just with one change. And that really was the only real downside I had. But I think the highs are high enough to stand out on their own. Speaking of the highs, did you want to get into them?
Yeah, why
All
not?
right. Well, I think we're not going to go in order here. We'll just talk about whatever we want to when we want to. The biggest high, obviously, that was a weird sentence. The biggest one, obviously, is the official announcement of the title of the next Legend of Zelda game called Tears of the Kingdom, which is it's not funny, obviously, but it's interesting to see the connection to what's happening real world. Well, I guess it's not really a connection. It was just bad timing, but it was it was a little humorous to see people's reactions to the title. But yeah, so what do you think about the next Legend of Zelda? We saw a pretty, well, I guess not detailed trailer, but we saw a trailer setting some things up and the final name announcement.
I mean, the title's a little weird, but I mean, obviously it's pretty exciting. Again, they didn't really showcase a lot other than the weird glider thing. I don't even know what it is. I guess it's like a big glider. I don't know what that was, but yeah. I mean, this is exciting. It's cool to see a date. I'm sure we'll be also seeing a Switch 2 on that date. Probably. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, that's exciting. It's cool. What do you
Well,
think?
I'll stop you right there. We're not seeing a new Switch. It's just not happening, man. I'm sorry. If they haven't
That's a
announced it
dream.
already, it's not happening, man.
That's fair.
Yeah, but I do have to say, I'm very excited for this. Coming a lot sooner than I think we all thought. Also, if it does hit this date, I love that because it's in a more quieter time of the year, beginning of summer. Usually, there's not as much going on, and I was kind of looking through the list of games that we know coming out next year. At least, so obviously, we have a lot of time for things to get added to the list. But it's coming out, and I think at a great time. Not a whole lot going on. Nothing that's really gonna take me away from it. So I'm excited to get to spend a lot of time in this game. And yeah, again, not a lot of information. Can't really tell you what's new, what's changed. None of that, which is fine. I don't really care. We got months and months and months to go to find out the more information on it. But yeah, I just had to laugh. Obviously, not laugh. It's not like funny as in like haha funny. It's funny as just in like the timing of it all. There was a lot of people in the US and the UK talking about Tears of the Kingdom, obviously with what's going on over in UK with the death of the Queen. It was just weird timing. It's I don't think it definitely has no connection to that at all, but it was just an interesting timing and connection to the real world that I kind of, again, not thought was humorous and like a haha, just like oh, interesting timing to go on there. But I don't care about any of that. I think I'm excited. I love the Legend of Zelda series. I think outside of Mario, it's Nintendo's best series in terms of quality sake, not in terms of like sales or anything like that. But it's a super important series. We've been waiting a long time for this. It'll be 6 years that we've been waiting when this game finally comes out. We got Breath of the Wild in, I think, April or March of 2017. So, be a long time coming. Can't wait to see more information on it moving forward. What's new about it? What's changed? And yeah. All right. Next big game came out, and the new Fire Emblem game got announced. It's called Engage, which again, we can talk about the whole naming thing going on here. I don't love the name, and I have to say, I thought I was going to be much more excited for the next Fire Emblem game to come out, but there was, I don't know, man. Watching this, I can't put my finger, but something felt off. And not off in like a bad thing. It's just like, oh, there's something here that I didn't gravitate as much to when Three Houses came out. When Fire Emblem Three Houses got announced, I was in day one, and I put 60 hours in that game. I absolutely love it. I know your wife loved it. I know you enjoyed it. I don't think you've ever got the chance to beat it yet, but so yeah, I expected myself to be much more excited about this, and there was, for me, something felt off. And again, I can't put my finger on it. I'll dig more into it later, but I don't know. What do you think about this?
I don't know. I never really cared for many of the other Fire Emblem games, but Three Houses is the only one that's actually like interested me because I feel like it's so different and interesting, and I love how it has like that Persona vibe to it, where it has like the whole, I guess, like social, like kind of like school thing to it. And I like that, like the managing of like your students and all that. And I think the combat was fun. It's not like excessively challenging or anything, but it's just fun and enjoyable. This looks like, like it's just going really care. I don't know. I don't really know what to think of this. Like, I mean, I honestly stuck to the Three Houses thing, but I mean, it is Fire Emblem. They have a lot of different things, so I don't know what kind of game this is going to be like. I didn't honestly. I kind of checked out at this. I've checked out in the last few Fire Emblem things they've talked about because I just don't really care. Three Houses is like the only one that I've actually been interested in, to be honest.
See, and I'm the exact opposite. I've played a lot of them. Fire Emblem Awakening. I guess not a lot of them. I played a lot of the more quote unquote modern ones. I have not been a fan since the get go, but I have been a fan for last decade plus, I would say, and yeah, there was just something that didn't exactly grab hold of me. I also think the design of the main character is kind of odd. Like he's got multicolor hair. He's essentially the Switch incarnate.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what he looks like.
yeah,
He
he
really
looks
looks
like the
like a
Nintendo
Switch.
Switch. And I don't know. I just couldn't gravitate to him that much. Obviously, the return of Marth and Celilia. Well, that wasn't English. Celica. I said that wrong 14 times now. So, but the return of those two really important characters. Be interesting to see how they're interwoven in this game. And like you said, the social aspects have been a part of every single Fire Emblem, but I do think they had their height with the inclusion of the school or academy, whatever you want to say. I do think that made the social aspects kind of rise above what they had been before. But every single Fire Emblem game has those social aspects and has those different details in it. So yeah, that's all I have on it. I it felt like I should have been more excited, and I can't exactly tell you why I'm not. It just, the feel of it felt, didn't hit home with me as much as I wanted to. And the name's pretty rough. Like, what is Engage? Like, what is that? I'm sure it has some meaning. We don't know yet, but coming out January 20th, 2023, a much earlier release date than probably most of us thought. And again, why do you have to come out when everything else is coming out that I want to play? So it's just another thing that I'm going to have to fucking figure out how and when I'm going to play these things. All right. Next up, the big one, as we said, well, for a certain aspect of fandom, Pikmin 4 finally got announced after what seems like an infinite amount of time that we've been hearing rumors about this. It's finally real, guys. It is a thing. Saw a short and well, just kind of a short trailer. Those of you out there that love Pikmin, I hope you're excited about this. I'm pretty sure DJ is very excited about this. I personally don't care about Pikmin, but I know the fan base is pretty heavily invested, and they have been waiting, like I said, for what feels like ever for this game to come out. And so good on them. That's really all I got on that.
I have never played a Pikmin ever, so I can't really say anything about it. I don't really know much about Pikmin either, so this is probably the least known thing I could tell you about. I don't know if it like almost anything about Pikmin. But yeah, I heard a lot of things about people saying Pikmin was just never gonna come out again because it's not a super popular series for Nintendo, at least from a lot of people's perspective. But I mean, I'm excited for people that want this. I don't really know much about it. I can't say if I dislike it or not because I've never played a Pikmin before. So maybe I'll have to ask DJ what's so great about it because I've never played it or even seen gameplay for it. For a matter of fact, to be honest, I just know you get little Pikmin dudes and you command them to do things. That's all I know.
All right, next up, again, these are not in order. We're just kind of going down the list. Nintendo showed off some more of the classic games coming to the service over the course of the next 2 years. Well, rest of this year and next year. Those including Pilot Wing 64, Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, 1080 Snowboarding, Excite Bike 64, and the big old kahuna GoldenEye 007 is coming back as part of the classic games. What do you think about these? I was excited to see Pokemon Stadium. I might actually, well, no, I probably won't, but I would want to jump into those games. Important note: GoldenEye is also coming to Xbox Game Pass with 4K resolution and a smoother frame rate. So, which is good because that game runs at approximately 3 frames per second on the 64. So, yeah. What do you think? You get a chance to play GoldenEye? Have you ever played GoldenEye before?
I have, dude. I love GoldenEye, dude. GoldenEye and like Halo 1 and 2 are like the classic shooters for me where literally you sat down with friends and you played like I used to play it all the time because I never owned a Nintendo 64. But the people that did, like my uncle, and a couple friends I knew like in my neighborhood, I would go over there and we'd all sit down and play multiplayer on GoldenEye 007, and it was super fun. I really loved it. I'm actually really excited for it to come out on Xbox. I mean, it's on Game Pass, so I'm actually playing beat it, and I'm pretty excited for it actually. Like, I mean, I loved playing it when I was a kid. Obviously, it's not going to have the same hit like it did when I was a kid, but I'm still excited to play it. And I'm also very excited the fact that they're adding all the Mario parties. I've been saying for years that they need to do this. I'm really happy that they're doing this. Too bad I had to pay for a dumb service that costs too much, in my opinion, just to play classic games. Just to play classic games. I really wish they just sold these games separately, like Xbox and PlayStation. Like maybe please, like I would love to just buy the Mario Party classics and not have to deal with a stupid online service that costs way too much money.
Yeah,
But whatever.
if I didn't have to
It's
get into the service, I would definitely play play Pokemon Stadium, but I don't know if I'm gonna want that enough to like you said, buy into the service for any amount of time. One thing I did want to ask you real quick, there is some pretty big controversy around GoldenEye 007, and I can't really explain the reasonings behind the decisions. I don't understand them at all. So I will tell you what's going on with that. It has been confirmed, not rumored, confirmed that GoldenEye 007 on Xbox will not feature online play. And it also been confirmed that it will feature online play on the Nintendo Switch.
Well, there's a reasoning behind that.
Well, tell me,
So
because
like
I couldn't
what
find it.
basically so how it works, all PlayStation or all Switch games with this service, this classic service, let you play co-op online. So like the NES, the SNES, and these all have it. It's basically like this weird, like how like on Steam. So like when for example, when Lego Star Wars came out, the new one, it doesn't allow it doesn't have online co-op. But if you have like Steam or for example, I guess also PlayStation, you can share play the game, and technically it's like two people sitting down and playing split screen co-op. So I think how it's going to work, and I'm about 99% sure this is exactly how it's going to work. That's exactly how it's going to be. So it's still going to be split screen, like as if you're playing with your buddies at your house, but it's just that somebody can connect with you and now play online co-op. So it's not like online co-op or online multiplayer where literally everyone has their own separate screen. I believe, and I'm about 99% sure, again, this is how it's going to work. It's just basically you're like connecting to the same game, but you're still playing split screen, so you're only going to see a split screen of your character on the side. That's where I think it's going to work. And I think people are thinking that it's going to be like straight up like um, how Halo Master Chief Collection came out, where literally you could play all these classic games online and everybody has their own screen and all that. But no, that's not how it's going to work. I think it's literally just you could share play the game, because that's how all of these NES, SNES, and these Nintendo 64 games have worked, where literally it's just basically like you're share playing the game, where literally someone could be across the country or etc., but they'd be share playing it with you, and you could technically, in a sense, yes, play online multiplayer with it, but it's not going to be your own screen. It's going to be split screen. So honestly, I really don't care. I mean, if they wanted to add this feature to Xbox, cool, but like it's not going to be like normal online play. It's just basically share playing the game. So honestly, I don't know where the big deal is. Like, yeah, it sucks. It would be super cool to actually see online multiplayer for um 007, but that's not what Nintendo's doing. I think people are assuming that's what they're doing. They're not. They're just doing the share play thing where literally you could play split screen technically with your friend from across, wherever you are, and it's still going to be in a split screen format. So you technically could screen peek without your friend knowing now, because literally you're just going to be able to just see that. So that's what I think it's going to be.
Yeah, I got it.
But
I was looking around when you were talking, and it looks like you could could be right. Again, it's not very clear, but what they have to say here is online multiplayer on Nintendo Switch Online is a system level feature, allowing any classic game from the N64 library that had local multiplayer features to work online via virtualized emulation. Bringing online virtualized multiplayer features to classic games on Xbox would require additional investments in the Xbox backwards compatibility system, which has been put on hiatus, at least for now. So that doesn't really tell
yeah,
us whether it's going to be screen to screen or you are going to be sharing your screen. But who knows? Anyway, I don't really care one way or the other. Like I said, I know a lot of people saw this as a big negative. I don't care. I don't have a horse in the race, but I do understand the significance behind the mode and all
yeah,
that.
again, I think people are going to be sorely disappointed when it actually does come to Nintendo Switch and they're going to figure out that you're just sharing the screen. But I'm pretty sure that's like, I'm literally beyond sure. I have like that 1% doubt that it's not, but like it's 90% sure, like 99% sure it's just sharing the screen, playing split screen multiplayer with people. So you're not really actually technically playing legit online multiplayer where you can have your own screen. So I think people are going to be really disappointed when that comes out and they figure that complaining about Xbox not having it, because literally it's not technically online multiplayer. It's share play. So
All right, well, we'll see. Next thing to be announced, a pretty big one for me at least, and I think it's a decent sized one for you. Octopath Traveler 2 got its official announcement, the sequel to the 2018's Octopath Traveler. And it says while it'll be a sequel, it'll feature an all new cast of characters that traverse the land of Solsta during a new era and period of time, so you do not need any knowledge of the original game. Interesting to note, this game is no longer exclusive to Nintendo Switch. It will be coming to Xbox and PlayStation consoles. So that is exciting for me. I
Wait,
get that.
quick question. Octopath Traveler is on Xbox.
Did it come?
Yeah, it's on Game
Okay.
Pass.
Well, at launch
That's
it
why I was
was
confused. I was like, wait,
at
what?
launch it was exclusive to Nintendo Switch. Sorry. When did it come to Game
Yeah,
Pass? Like what, last year or something?
it's been there for a little bit. I don't know exactly.
Oh,
Maybe it was a year ago,
okay.
but yeah, it's been on there for a while.
Well, this at launch will come to all consoles. So there.
Oh, well, that's fair. So yeah, maybe it was like a year thing where it was exclusive, and then it got put to everything because I think it's on PlayStation too.
It is not on
Um,
PlayStation.
really?
Unexplainably, yeah, it has not come to PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, it's on Xbox. That's why I was confused. But yeah, okay. Well, still, there you
Okay,
go.
yeah.
At least it's coming to every console
So it
day
came out
one.
on
So
Game Pass March 25th, 2021. So it was exclusive for just under 3 years to Switch.
okay, that's fair.
So recently non-exclusive, and it would make sense if it's Octopath Traveler 2 coming to all consoles. It makes sense to release the first one. I don't know why it hasn't been released on PlayStation, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't get that either. I don't. That makes
Because
no sense.
usually, Square Enix and PlayStation are tied at the hip. So we'll see. Maybe it'll come later. But I'm excited about this one, especially since you don't need any information about the first one. I really enjoyed the first one a lot. I never got all the way through it. Put about 20 hours in, which from what I've seen online is about halfway through. So, but I think the world design, the characters were really good. It's just one of those situations where I just got distracted by something else and never got back around to it. But all right,
That is fair.
Nintendo Switch Sports finally sees golf arrive. It got delayed by a little bit. Originally slated to come out in fall. It's now coming out this holiday season, so sometime in winter. Um, I don't know. I've made my opinions on Nintendo Switch Sports known. I think it's fine, but
They just need to bring back the thing where when you do stuff in the game, the progression that
dude,
the Wii Sports
yeah.
had. Like I loved that. I love that like when you played, you see how you did the last time and how much you've done better. And I love that.
I
And I
also
also just
just
think it's
I
dumb that they locked the freaking whole cosmetic crap behind
yeah.
online.
That's
Like
that's
why?
the big one that after I found that out, I really haven't played that much. Like I still own Nintendo Switch Sports, and obviously when you guys come down or when we go up there, we're gonna play it and enjoy it and
Oh
all
yes.
that. But it really is a thing that I was like, man, if I have to play online, which isn't how I want to play the game, I don't get any points at all. I don't unlock anything like that. In my mind, that is ridiculously
And it's
stupid
the
decision.
worst decision they've made in my opinion. Like what that just makes no sense. Like you could clearly have it for both. Like if you want to play with just your family and you're playing and you're having a good time, you should still be able to unlock stuff and get progression, but you don't. You just get to play the game and that's it. There's no progression, there's no leveling up, there's no seeing if you've done better than you did last time. Like I miss that stuff. And again, they could have added what the Wii Sports had and then also added this new cosmetic thing. Like this cosmetic thing is a really cool idea. I like it, but the fact that it's only online kind of ruins it, in my opinion. Like you should be able to play with your friends and still unlock stuff. I think that's a good idea. It keeps people playing, and it's not forcing them to play online. So it does make me sad because this game could be really, really good if they literally just let progression be on anything. Like, and also added back the Wii Sports thing where you could see if you're doing better than you did last time. I love that. It was cool. It was fun. It just makes me sad because I mean I love volleyball in this game. In my opinion, it's the best sport in the entire package. Other than I do like bowling, but dude, freaking volleyball! They actually did update volleyball and added more stuff to it. I haven't played it since, but I do kind of want to get back into it and play it because I do miss volleyball. Volleyball was really fun. That's probably the easily the best sport in the entire package.
All right, let's start ripping through some of these.
Okay,
Threat Rhythm Final Bar is a new entry in apparently the beloved Final Fantasy Threat Rhythm series. A game I actually want to play just because I like rhythm games, and this is the Final Fantasy music, which is absolutely fantastic. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe got some details on its third wave. Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 3 will be coming to the Nintendo Switch via the cloud versions. Kirby's Return to Dreamland, the 18th Kirby game to come out in the past 2 years, it feels like, is coming out. Fae Farm, a new game by Phoenix Lab, announced at the Nintendo Direct, is another farming game. It Takes Two, coming to Switch in November. And the first post-launch details on Splatoon 3 were announced. Anything you got to say about those?
Um, cool to see It Takes Two coming, and I'm happy that it's not, yet another cloud game. I'm happy that they actually, put the effort in and actually made the game for the console. So that's cool. Splatoon 3, man, I'm not gonna lie, it's been pretty cool. I don't know. I've been really tempted to try it, but I don't know if I want to really spend $60 on a game like that. And if I know Nintendo will never go down in price, so I probably will never play it, but that's what sucks. Like, I would probably give it a try if it went down in price because it looks cool. I don't know why.
What do you think
Other than that,
about
that's it.
Threat Rhythm?
Um, it looks like a rhythm game,
Dude,
but with Final
but
Fantasy.
400 songs in the base game. Like, that's not an
That's funny.
insignificant amount of songs.
No, it's not. I mean, it's a lot to package in it, but it's not my kind of game.
That's fair. Yeah.
But it looks funny though. Maybe if I'm whenever I see you next and you're playing it, I'll have to watch you play this Final Fantasy rhythm game.
Because the music of Final Fantasy is objectively, not subjectively, fantastic. Um, so, and I love it, so I can't wait. All right. Uh, let's highlight one or two big more things. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion got a new trailer and its official release date announced, like we said earlier, coming December 13th. And yeah, I can't wait. I will be playing this game on December 13th, as long as I'm able to get through the Callisto Protocol in the 11 days before this game comes out, which I should be able to. So, yeah, I can't wait. I love Final Fantasy, everything Final Fantasy, and the fact that they are just pouring resources into Final Fantasy VII, and all it has to offer is, in my mind, fantastic. Um, anything else? Oh, Sifu. Yeah, Sifu coming to Nintendo Switch November 8th.
Whoa,
Yeah, yeah, big one there. I was pretty
that's
surprised.
weird.
And
Okay.
did you get a chance to watch the trailer?
I did not know.
It was running at approximately 12 frames a second.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, which is if you know anything about Sifu, not how you want to play the game.
Yeah, that game is pretty difficult. Like, I don't
So
know how you could really play it at such a low frame rate, but
yeah, we'll see if they can make that game run a little better. So Just Dance 2023 got not announced, got a new trailer. Rune Factory 3 Special, the remake of Rune Factory 3 will launch sometime in the future, it says. Let's see. Bayonetta 3 got a new trailer. Again, coming October 28th. Looks really good, I think. Mario Rabbids Box of Hopes also got a new trailer. The announcement of Tales of Symphonia Remastered will coming sometime in early 2023. Got announced. Harvestella, the new farming game from Square Enix, got a new trailer coming on November 4th. Yeah, I think it actually looks pretty good. It's probably the best farming simulator, simulator game that I saw here. And then pretty much the rest of it was just a bunch of, like I said, farming simulators and real life games with SpongeBob thrown in. So, all right, what do you think about the rest of this? Did you have anything here? As I said, we got into the part now where all these games kind of just felt like the same iterations, outside of, like, your Final Fantasies and your Mario Rabbids. Like, there was some different ones thrown in there, but most of that was just like trailers and stuff that we've already kind of seen or heard of in different ways. So we've already gone through, in my mind, the big stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, some of it's pretty cool, but yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Most of it is stuff they showed at the end.
eventually, I'm gonna break you down, and you're gonna play and love all the Final Fantasy stuff. But until that time comes, we'll keep it moving, keep it going here. No, I'm
I
just
mean, if
kidding.
it makes you any more sad, I have already deleted Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, it doesn't make me sad because I knew it was coming. But that's okay.
Yeah, I
Just know
tried.
that they're fantastic.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's just not your thing, man. Which is
It's
fine.
not.
Yeah, you love first-person shooters, and I am soft on them. I enjoy playing them, but for very specific reasons, and it has to be. How do I want to put it? It has to be like in a vacuum that I like first-person shooters. So
That's fair.
yeah. Also, a lot less time investment. I can put 6 hours into first person shoot. You cannot put 6 hours into a JRPG and enjoy it. This is
That's
not how it
fair.
works. So I understand the lack of it. All right. Well, I think that's all we have to say on the Nintendo Direct. Like we said at the front, I thought there was a lot of good stuff here. Even though it sounds like we were pretty negative on some of it, I mostly enjoyed my 40 minutes in this. I just thought there was a lot of what I would say repeat games with different visual styles here and there, but mostly conceptually at a core, the same style of games. I'm probably wrong, but what the hell do I know? I'm just a person. All right, let's go on now to this PlayStation State of Play that got announced the same day and premiered. So this got announced the same day as the Nintendo Switch Direct and was shown off the same day as the Nintendo Switch Direct. So let's dive right into this. What do you think about the PlayStation State of Play for September 2022, Logan?
I mean, they showcased basically what I was expecting. Um, I would say there wasn't a lot of like really. There was some cool ones, but there wasn't as much twist. A lot of stuff I kind of already seen coming. It wasn't like really. Uh, I wouldn't say it's a lot of surprises. It's more a lot of what we kind of were expecting. There was a little bit of surprises, but not excessively. But other than that, I mean, I thought it was good. Showcased pretty much what I wanted. It was fast. It got to the point. I watched the whole thing, and it was just bam, 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 and then it was like, all right, good seeing you guys. And yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. Showcase things. It showed what I wanted, and I mean, I guess everybody has their own opinion on what they want in these showcases. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it showcased new things for VR, showed the God of War, which I've been waiting for, and I'm happy that they showcased it. And yeah, I mean, there was even another game that I'm actually heavily excited for. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I would say again, like the Nintendo Switch, I would say 4 out of 5. I thought it was good, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would say I'm also at a 4 out of 5. I think this was a really good to great um, State of Play for what State of Plays can be or can't be. Some of them are pretty disappointing and pretty blah, but the last two we've gotten in particular have been pretty darn stellar in my eyes. Let's not feed around the bush. We'll backtrack and go through some of the other stuff. I think there were actually quite a few surprises in here. Well, two, I guess. Three. I don't know. We'll get into it. But let's not feed around the bush. Let's go right to the end because there was a trailer shown off at the end of this State of Play. A 3-minute trailer, which in my eyes is I think one of the best trailers I've ever seen for a video game. Um, this God of War Ragnarok story trailer blew me away. I have watched it. I started counting after the first couple times, so add on 2 or 3 to this number. I've watched this trailer 12 times. I I said for a long time, and you know, I'm fine if I'm wrong. I said for a long time I didn't need to see more from this game. I didn't want to see more. I just wanted to play it. But I'm so glad they showed this trailer because it blew me away, man. I don't know how glowing I can be other than the fact that this trailer absolutely took my breath away in almost every aspect of it. The action, the gameplay, they showed off a lot of story beats. A lot of the scenes is just incredible, and I was doing I told Peyton, I was like, well, I did the best I could. I tried to keep my hype level down as low as I could possibly keep it down for the sequel to what is my favorite game of all time, you know? And I can't do it no more. It's after this trailer, I'm like, well, my hype is just gone through the roof. I can't keep it controlled anymore. This was, in my eyes, absolutely incredible. What'd you think?
Yeah, no, I am absolutely so freaking excited for this game, dude. Like, I mean, I didn't really need to see this, but I wanted to see just at least something because I'm just really excited and I love seeing some gameplay and some of the new things. And yeah, I mean, this looks really, really good. I mean, it's about what I expected. I think, you know, there's similarities to 2018, but there's a lot of new stuff in here, and the story looks awesome. The new enemies that they showcase look so freaking cool.
Dude, every
Um,
single scene had a new
yeah,
enemy. Like if
yeah, it was insane.
the whole game is even close to that. Like it looks like the enemy variety in this game has been just turned up to 10. Well, it looks like everything has been turned up to 10. The combat variety, some of the different things you can do. Like when he threw out the blades, pulled himself in, and then mid-fall pulled out the axe and just fucking slammed it in the ground. I was like, holy shit, man. Like, good God.
Yeah, this looks insanely fun. I'm very excited for it. Yeah, it just looks like they like really, really just like absolutely refined what 2018 was and added so much more upon it. And it's just I'm very excited for it. I cannot wait to play this game. I mean, again, as I said at the beginning, this is one of the top 3 games I'm absolutely stoked for. And I mean, I already knew I was really excited, but this trailer made me even more excited for it. I cannot freaking wait, dude. It's
Dude,
gonna be so good. I already know it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really hard for them to mess this up, I feel like. So I'm very stoked for it. I cannot wait. And I
I was
loved this trailer, dude. Like, it was awesome.
I
It
was
was so good.
foaming at the mouth watching this. That fucking scene with the wolves, who known as Skull and Hati in the Norse myths, who are the sons of Fenrir, who is the son of Loki. And it's just like there's so many things like what are they gonna do with all these myths? And I thought that scene in particular was not just a absolutely breathtaking and beautiful scene. It was an incredible way to visualize the myth behind what's going on. If you don't know it out there, the myth of Ragnarok is uh, stated. I looked up some things and like the core idea is not. It's written in different ways, but the core idea says Ragnarok will begin when the wolves chase the sun and the moon from the sky. And that scene I thought was a beautiful and really interesting way to showcase and visualize that aspect of the Ragnarok myth. And there's a lot of questions like, is Atreus the one starting Ragnarok? Because he shoots the arrow, and either Skull or Hati, I don't know which one's which, but they follow his command and they follow his arrow. And, a big aspect of Loki's characterizations through these myths are his closeness and his connection to the animals of the world, and his ability to kind of control and dominionize some of the creatures around Norse mythology and around the realms. And it feels like that's going to be a pretty big aspect of this game is obviously Loki's development and his growth as a character, not just, in terms of the age that we see or anything like that, but his importance. Like there's a line in this trailer uh that says, Kratos is following what his son does. He's listening to everything that his son wants to do and is doing, and Kratos is he's kind of reverted back to the fact that he's just a soldier now. Like he is just listening to his son, who is shepherding him towards an inevitable outcome. Or what that outcome is, I have absolutely no clue. But there was so much stuff in here that was just deep and interesting, and the chance that Santa Monica has here to make something special. They've already made something special. They made God of War 2018, but the chance that they have here to make something not just incremental, like people are saying out there in the world, but something truly remarkable is it just gets me so excited. It also makes me worried because, like you said, there is a chance, whether that be a small chance, that it could not all come together great. But I don't feel like it won't come together great. So also I want to shout out what can only be described as the most badass line of all time ever spoken by any character when Kratos says, "Death can have me when it earns me." Like, come on, man. Are you kidding me? That's the hardest line I've ever heard. Eminem ain't got shit on that line. Like, are you kidding me with that shit? All right. I could talk about this for approximately 16 hours, but we're not going to do that because we have a show to get to. Anything else you wanted to say on God of War Ragnarok? Did you like that whole wolf scene with the visualization of the myth? Did you learn anything from what I just said? Hopefully. I'm educational in a way, but what'd you think about some of that other stuff?
Yeah, I mean, that scene was super freaking good. I really enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, I'm curious on where Ragnarok is going to come into this. As you said about him shooting the arrow and the wolves, which I'm a little confused about that fact that he has a son and the wolf. I mean, obviously this is their own mythos, so maybe he won't have a son. Clearly, he's a little too young to have a son, I feel like, but in some way or form, they're going to get those wolves. All I know, dude, altogether, this game looks so good. I'm very excited for it. It looks so smooth. It looks fun. I really love 2018's combat. So this game looks even smoother. It looks like they've added so many different combinations. I mean, as you said, where he literally threw out his blades and then switched to the axe. Dude, if you could do that in game, it's over. Like I am so freaking excited for that. I cannot wait for it to come out. Like I'm very excited for it.
Before we move on, I just want to say I also cannot wait for what is undoubtedly going to be an absolute clusterfuck of fanboyism when we get to Game of the Year time decision. Um, and all those probably really horrendous conversations that are going to be had online. Can't wait to dig into some of those between obviously Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok. It'll be really fun and interesting to see what happens. But everyone has their own opinion, and I
It's
know
going to
this
be
is
another Red Dead Redemption 2 and
yeah, it's gonna be another one where both games deserve it. We'll just see who ends up taking it out. So, all right, let's dive into the rest of this. The showcase started out with the surprise announcement, and well, I guess not surprise. It was announced at Evo, but the surprise trailer for Tekken 8 looking significantly better than any Tekken has any right to look. Go back and look at videos of Tekken 7, and then look at this game. It's not even close. It looks like a PS2 game. Tekken 7
the
does compared to this. This thing looked incredible. And to find out that it was based off the story campaign. Every single Tekken has a pretty detailed story campaign in it. And they're doing really interesting things where the actual fights and all that aren't just standardized cameras for fighting games anymore. They're like actually in some sort of connection to cinematic camera work in the middle of the fights, making them feel like it's a cutscene that you're actually playing. I know that's a dumb thing to say because it's like everyone always says that, but yeah, I thought this looked great. What do you think about Tekken 9? We're not the biggest fighting fans out there, but I know this means a lot to a lot of people out there, so I can respect that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a really nice bump up. It looks really clean, looks really nice. Graphics look great. Um I'm sure it's going to be more Tekken, what people love. And if you're, as you said, that this is like some from like the story, maybe the story is going to be really badass. Um but yeah, I never played a Tekken. I never really cared to play a Tekken. It's not, in my opinion, if I had to pick a game kind of like Tekken, obviously Mortal Kombat I enjoy more. But that's also because of the brutalities and the fatalities and all that. I just love the kind of brutal gameplay of Mortal Kombat compared to these games. Like Tekken 8 and Street Fighter are like the same, where it's like just beat 'em up, but it's very clean. It's not as brutal as like Mortal Kombat is. But yeah, I mean, it looks clean, looks great. Really excited for the Tekken people out there. I'm sure it's going to be great. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about it.
All right. Next up, Sony showed off a couple of PSVR 2 games. First one being Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy Edge. It's a new gameplay trailer showing off different location, enemies, and allies. Update me on my knowledge here. This already exists, right?
Yes, it came out
Okay.
on the Quest. By the way, both these games are on Quest that you're
Okay.
going to be talking about. But I'll tell you, let's just talk about both of them together. There's
Okay.
another game called Demio 2 that they announced in the showcase, which is basically D&D but in
Meets
VR. In
Yu-Gi-Oh.
a sense, it's a dungeon crawler
It's
kind of
like
game. It's
I saw like D&D meets Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I actually own this on my Quest.
It looked really cool to
It's
me.
it's really fun, dude. Like, dude, if you get in, we could play crossplay. Ooh, Dude, me, Amy, and you could play this game together. It's freaking great. It's fun. I love the dice rolling aspect to it. It's very challenging, but it's really, really cool. I love it, dude. It's like the perfect kind of game for VR where you could just sit down, literally, don't even have to move around really a lot, and you could just roll dice and play, and you get to role play and pick whatever kind of character you want. Really good. Star Wars Galaxy is like, from what I heard, is literally the most graphically impressive games on the Quest. So if it's that good on Quest, I'm sure it's going to look absolutely fantastic on the VR2, or the sorry PlayStation VR2, not just VR2. Um, yeah, I mean, these both came out on there, but they're very good games. I actually heard if you get the DLC of the Galaxy's Edge, it's actually really good. I heard the main game isn't the greatest, but the DLC that came out with it, which I wonder if this is just going to include it. I heard the DLC is really, really good. I've been tempted to get it at some point, but I haven't purchased it yet. Like, I still want to get this in Resident Evil 4 and play it on VR because those two games look so good on VR. Um, but yeah, no, this is exciting. I like seeing these. These look really, really cool. And if you do get Demio, if you do get a V2 headset, let me know because me and Amy would be down to play it. And I'm sure it will be. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know. PlayStation's very weird with crossplay. I hope that they allow them to do some crossplay on these because that'd be super cool.
Yeah, I hope so too. Speaking of VR, we'll talk a little bit about PSVR 2 at the end of the show, but previews have come out. All the major publications have put up their previews for PSVR 2, and it seems like all roses are coming out of it. So that's good. I have talked to Peyton, and as long as I'm able to get it, I will get it. So I'm very excited for PSVR 2. I think it's going to be a huge step forward in VR gaming. And yeah, I'm excuse me, very, very excited. All right, next up, Yakuza Ishin spin-off game. Oh my god, that was a terrible sentence. Yakuza's spin-off game called Like a Dragon Ishin was announced and it's finally getting a Western release date, February 2023. This game is, like I said, set in the Yakuza universe, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I guess is no longer called Yakuza, but it's set in the older times of the series. And as a guy who's made a commitment to start playing through some of the Yakuza games, I'm still working my way through the first one. This looks good. Looks like more Yakuza. I guess I can't say that anymore. It looks more like a dragon. Stupid as fuck. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, this looks cool. I like these games. From what little I played of the first one, not little, I played 20 hours of the first one, but it's a really enjoyable game. And for the fan bases out there, for people who have been waiting to play this game, in its Western format, I'm happy to know that you'll be getting that. So, what do you think?
This kind of threw me, definitely surprised me. I will also say that both the games that deal with this kind of time period kind of blend together for me for a second there. I got really confused. Like, they showed
Oh,
this,
definitely,
and then
definitely.
they showed the other game later, and I'm like, are they just showing us the same game again? Like, but then clearly the other game obviously is more graphically impressive in my opinion, because clearly this game I think is older. The Ishin, or Like a Dragon Ishin. Um,
Stupid.
which, by the way, it kind of surprised me because, like, at first I was like, "What kind of game is this?" And then it started to do the Yakuza style thing. I'm like, "Ah, so it's a Yakuza game." Okay, I was like, it started to do a little bit of comedy in that. I'm like, "All right, I see where this is going. This is basically a old, like, I guess, like Yakuza back in the day kind of thing." Yeah, I
That's
mean,
exactly what it is.
yeah, it's pretty much
It's
exactly what it is. I mean,
Yakuza back in the
gun.
day.
It looks good. I mean, it looks cool. I was kind of surprised by it. Um, and later, the other game we're gonna talk about later, I'm actually very excited for.
Yeah, I
So,
got something to say. Well, I guess I'll just say it right now. We'll talk about that game in a second. But it's clear to me with this game, the game we're about to talk about here in a little bit, with the Wolong Dynasty game coming from Xbox. It's clear to me that Ghost of Tsushima definitely had an impact on the video game industry. There's a lot of games coming out in very similar, not gameplay style or anything like that, but definitely it opened people's eyes that us people here in the West are very much want that style of game and are very much interested in those different time periods and all that. So, which is actually kind of funny. During the Yakuza news, they did say that the reason they're coming out with Ishin Like a Dragon, or Like a Dragon Ishin, or Yakuza Ishin, however the hell you want to say it, was because they saw the reaction and reception of Ghost of Tsushima and realized there was a market. So thank you, Ghost of Tsushima. You came out and you proved that us simple folk here in the West want that shit. So, all right. Next up, Hogwarts Legacy. We got to look at the PlayStation exclusive quest known as. I forgot the name of it. Fuck. It's set in Hogsmeade. This is a thing that I don't actually think has a place in the video game industry anymore. Exclusive quests and all that. I thought we moved beyond that, but apparently not. Apparently Warner Brothers and Sony are still riding a dead horse here. But outside of that, it looked cool. It looked like more Hogwarts Legacy. We're excited about that. Outside of the whole exclusive quest thing, which, like I said, doesn't really have a place in modern gaming in my eyes. Um, yeah, I think it's more Hogwarts Legacy. We're seeing a lot of this game now. I kind of want to stop seeing this game. I just want to wait to play it. I'm kind of done with seeing things on it. What do you think?
Yeah, they need to take a break from showing it and just
It seems like we see
give us
something
some
new every
more.
single
Like if they
week.
want to show one more, if they want to show one more big thing, they should do it like time it actually launches. But yeah, they're just showing too many things. They probably should stop because they're gonna start doing a whole cyberpunk thing where they're gonna really overhype this game for a lot of people, and in the end, people are gonna be too hyped and they're gonna be disappointed no matter what because they're not gonna get what they have in their mind. I think they need to just kind of take a break and chill and stop showing things for a while because, like, yeah, they're building a little bit of too much hype in my opinion for this game, and it kind of worries me that people are gonna be a little harsher on it because they're going to have this whole mindset of what they think they're going to be getting out of it, and in the end, they're going to be slightly disappointed. Not saying it's going to be a bad game at all. I'm just saying like people are expecting everything, like basically just like you get to live in this basically world and you can do so many crazy things. It's like maybe bring it back a little bit, like just kind of like maybe not hype it up as much because they're showing so many things now, like constantly. And I feel like they just need to take a break. I agree with that. It just needs to, they're seeing a little too much of it now. Like I wanted to see stuff, but now they're just like every showcase, oh, here's some more. Here's this. Here's that. And I also agree, though. I don't know why they're doing this stupid quest thing, dude. Like, I thought that died a long time ago, but
Like a
whatever.
long we haven't seen that in years. Like,
Yeah, like I was like, okay, cool. That's really gonna make me want to go buy the PlayStation version over the Xbox version. Like, ugh, just whatever. It's dumb. But
I mean,
other than
I
that,
I already am getting the PlayStation version of
yeah,
it, but
yeah, that's what
yeah.
I mean. Like, it'll be cool. You'll have to let me know how that one quest is that you get with the game. That's extra is so much better. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna
Whatever.
make or break the game.
Yeah, like now, like since I don't get that one quest, it's
Oh
just not
damn.
gonna be the same.
Ruined the whole experience for you. I, I
Yeah,
I do have to say one quick thing before we move on is it's the way they're showing this game is weird because like we just talked about, they've shown a lot of this game. We've been seeing a lot of different things, but in the same breath, we haven't really seen anything of how you actually play the game. They
that's
haven't
fair.
shown like an actual walkthrough of like what you're doing moment to moment in the game. They've said some things, and again, they've shown a lot of very short snippets, a lot of in and out, a lot of quick cuts. It's like they've shown so much, but at the same time, I still don't know what I'm going to be doing moment to moment and how I'm going to play this game. It's weird. I don't like it. It, it
Yeah, I
it's
agree with that.
it's keeping me in this state that like I'm very excited for what this game could be, but it's still in the back of my mind. I'm like, oh fuck, like I don't actually know if this is gonna be great or not, or even good or not. Like I want it to be, and I think it will be, but the fact that they've just done a weird way of showing this game off. Too much, but also nothing. It's an odd thing. All right, next title, Pacific Drive. Looked like a narrative game. Looks interesting, I guess. A cool aesthetic, but probably won't play it. You?
No, dude, I don't know why. It really was that exciting. Like at first, I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, what is it about? Oh, you're in a car. you drive through storms and stuff.
I did have to
Okay.
laugh. It reminded me very heavily of Delamain from Cyberpunk.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I got very big Delamain vibes from it. All right, next up, in a weird decision, PlayStation decided to detail the new loyalty program, which again, I think it's a cool inclusion to the PlayStation ecosystem. I in no way ever thought it was cool enough to actually show and have a spot in a state of play or a showcase, whatever. So I think this is a dumb decision to show this off. I don't think anyone's excited enough about the loyalty program for this to have any impact on in the grand scheme of the state of play. Now saying that again, I do think it's a cool inclusion on the back end to have for your ecosystem and for your community, but I don't think it's good enough or even important enough at all to showcase during a state of play.
Yeah, that was a weird choice in my opinion, but it's whatever.
Yeah, fine.
They have
Again,
to get it out there somehow, I guess.
I guess so. And it really was. It really only was like a minute and a half, so it doesn't mean that much. But all right. Sin Duality, the new game from Bandai Namco, third-person shooter, mechs, very much akin to something like Near Automata, Automata, whatever. Was shown off along with a 2023 release date. Did this do anything for you? Did this tickle your balls anyway?
It actually was kind of cool. I don't know. It looked kind of interesting. Again, I don't know what is with these weird mech games, dude. But they at first I was like, this looks okay. But then I watched like the gameplay. I'm like, this actually looks kind of cool. So this is one of those games I'm definitely gonna be kind of keeping my eye on the more closer it gets to release. But yeah, I mean, it looks kind of cool. I love this mech gameplay, dude. It looks kind of badass. So I'll have to, yeah, I'll keep my eye on it.
All right, and finally, two PlayStation console exclusive games were shown off. The first one being Project Eve, what is now known as Stellar Blade, a character action game very much in the vein of Devil May Cry. Was shown off last year during. It was actually the opening game for the PlayStation Direct last year. Not Direct, sorry, the PlayStation Showcase last year, and we got to see a new trailer for it. Still no info on the release date, but this is a game I'm very much excited for. Very, very interested. I think it's a beautiful game. Coming from Korean studio Shift Up, so one of the first big players from a new place in the video game industry. The Korean studios out there making some interesting things. And yeah, I can't wait for this game. I think it looks really cool, really, again, stylish. And yeah, what do you think?
Uh, I mean, I wasn't excited about it when they first showed it. I'm not really that excited about them showing it again. It looks, I mean, it looks basically like what is it? Devil May Cry. That's what it gives me, but without all the blood and everything. More, I don't know. It just seems like a hack and slash game. So I don't know. I'm really not excited about it. I wasn't really impressed when they showcased it the first time at the last year during their showcase, because this is that weird game where they were like that girl was like outside the spaceship and everything, and I don't know, it just was kind of weird. And this one again, this trailer didn't really change my mind on the whole game, so I don't know. Looks
Well,
okay.
it didn't change my mind either, but our two minds are very different places, so which is fine. I do
Yeah.
think I personally, the name's kind of cool. Some people didn't like it, some people did. I think Stellar Blade is pretty cool. Even though I couldn't read the name when it came on screen, and I was like, what the fuck's that say? But weird on that. But anyway, the final game that they showed off, well, not technically, but the final game we're going to talk about here is another PS5 console exclusive coming from Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo. A game called Rise of the Ronin, a new open world samurai game, was shown off and given the release window of 2024. And yeah, we've kind of been given a little bit of spoilers here, and not spoilers, foreshadowing here. We talked about it passingly in the past couple minutes, and I thought this looked fucking cool as shit. I
Dude, this
thought
game
I thought it looked badass,
looks
man.
so good. Like after seeing the Like a Dragon-ition, I'm like, okay. And then this came on screen. I'm like, whoa, what is this? I was like, dude, this looks awesome. I'm like, what is this? Like, who's making this game? 'Cause, like, it gave me vibes of like Assassin's Creed. It gave me vibes of Ghost of Tsushima. Um, and yeah, I'm sold. I seen this and I'm like, this looks awesome. I'm trying to figure out what kind of game they're trying to build here. I don't
Yeah,
know if it's gonna be
I'm
Dark
hoping.
Soulsy,
Yeah, that's
because
what
if
I
it
said.
is, dude, this is gonna be the competitor for Elden Ring because it looks like it's got a big open world, but then it's got that Dark Souls vibe to it. But it also looks like it's got a pretty interesting story going on. So I'm very interested. It looks cool.
I, me personally, I hope it's not in the Souls style of game because we're already getting that from Team Ninja. They're giving us Wolong Fallen Dynasty coming out next year. Which, by the way, team's working hard over there, coming out with 2 games, 2 seemingly pretty big games. So be interested to see that. But one thing I did have to laugh about when I saw this, I'm like, man, Assassin's Creed is about to get fucking buried.
Dude, literally, they have other games literally basically you can't seem to make your own games. We'll just start making your games way better.
Yeah,
And that's what they've been doing.
it's like all these studios, Sony, Koei Tecmo, and Team Ninja, and even uh, I can't remember the developers, but Yakuza in the way they're like, all right, fine, Assassin's Creed, if you won't make the Japanese game that everyone wants, we all will. And then then they said, hey, guess what? We're making it, and everyone's like, well, you've already been outdone. So
Yeah, like they're going to be 2 games that are probably going to come out before their Japanese Assassin's Creed game comes out, and they have a lot of competition, a lot. Like they really have to outdo themselves with that Japanese Assassin's Creed game if they're going to compete with these 2 games. Because like I mean, first we got Ghost of Tsushima, which was amazing and very good. And then you got this game, and it looks super good. And then they have that other Chinese, I don't know what it's called. I don't know. Is it the
Wolong.
Wonlong? Yeah,
Well,
that
there's
game
Wolong,
looks.
and then there's also that Black Myth game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So
there's
there's
all
a
these games that are coming out that are basically outdoing Assassin's Creed big time, and yeah, they have a lot to compete against.
well, I guess we'll see when they all come out what they're good enough. But yeah, I would do have to say that I thought the vibe and the style of this game was really cool. The name is badass as hell. Rise of the Ronin. That's fucking cool. The way that they showed it off with like the like kind of old Japanese style of like flashing the title on screen in different parts. I just thought the whole thing was really cool. Very much excited for me. All right, and that was it. That was the end of the PlayStation September 2022 State of Play. Like we said at the top of it, I thought it was pretty darn good. Had a lot of cool things in here. I was excited about most of the things they showed off. Some weird inclusions here and there, but like you said, a couple minutes out of a 20-minute showcase doesn't. It feels a lot worse than 20 minutes out of a 40-minute showcase. You know, it feels a lot better. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
So, all right, we're gonna go in now to TGS, also known as Tokyo Game Show, had a bunch of stuff to show off this week. I just don't know how much you have to talk about this, but anything that you saw throughout the week, Xbox had its own showcase during this where they announced some cool things. I could run through them real quick if you want me to, but just want to see if you saw anything that tickled your fancy or saw anything that piqued your interest enough that you want to mention it right here. So take it away, sir.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch any of this, so I have no idea about this Tokyo Game Show. I don't think I've seen any of it.
All right. Well, I will
Um,
run through some of the announcements. Xbox showed off pretty much everything that's coming out in the next month on Game Pass, I believe. Yeah. So, various updates. Assassin's Creed Odyssey coming. Well, it's already there. September 15th. Danganronpa. Desperate Game. Metal Hellsinger out now. People can play that. Getting good reviews. People seem to really enjoy that. Nino Kuni Wrath of the White. Oh my god. Nino Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. Oh my god. Wrath of the White Witch. On console
White
only.
Witch.
White Witch. That's dude. It's not the easiest sentence to say, especially for someone who
That's
talks
right.
like I do. This game is. I love Nino Kuni, so it's very much a really good game if people want to go out there and check it out. The Outer Wilds on September 15th as well. Wolong Dynasty coming to Game Pass this coming week. Wait, what did I say?
Wolong Dynasty's coming out to Game Pass this week.
Wolong Final Dynasty. So it's not the
Uh,
it's not the actual game. It's something different. Let me un momento. Hold up, real quick. Oh my god, I gotta enter my birth date. I don't want to enter my birth date. Final Dynasty. I don't know why they said Fallen Dynasty. Yeah, but apparently it's out. Or coming out pretty shortly. So I guess we'll look at that in a second. I'm kind of behind the times. I did not watch any of this as well. I just kind of was looking at the updates when I saw it. But okay, no. So the demo is out. The game is coming out in early 2023. So the demo is available. Not okay. Well, now I'm just confused. So we're just gonna keep moving on. Deathloop coming next week. Persona 5 Royal in October. Beacon Pines this coming week. Slime Rancher 2 this week. Grounded next week. Moon Scars also next week, and Valheim next week. All right. Do you have anything to say? Resident Evil had some things to say. Bless you. Resident Evil had some things to say. They came out with a couple trailers for um, the Village DLC, some of the third person stuff, and then they also told us to come back next month for an actual whole Resident Evil showcase. So we got that coming up. Anything else you saw doing this?
dude, I'm really getting mad that this Exo Primal game keeps looking good, man. They had a story trailer for it, and man, I don't know why I keep going back to this game, dude. Like, it doesn't look that good, but it does look good, and I don't know what to think about it. Like, I'm very iffy on it. They showcased a story trailer. That's probably the only other thing that really was interesting about this whole thing. And yeah, dude, I don't know why, but I keep getting interested in this dumb looking game. I don't know why I'm calling it dumb because I'm clearly interested in it, but like it doesn't. It's not like mind blowing looking, but it just looks good. I don't know why. It looks fun. The whole mech system, dude, reminds me of literally what was that dumb game that came out like a couple of years ago? Anthem. Like this basically looks like Anthem, but you kill dinosaurs, and it just looks fun. I don't know, and I didn't know it was gonna have a story. I thought it was just like a multiplayer thing. It actually has a story. So I don't know why, dude. This looks fun. Like it actually might be a game I might be tempted at some point. Like it looks fun. I'm actually really tempted now to get
Well,
this game at some point.
I can confidently say that Exoprimal is your Gotham Knights to me.
Yeah, dude. Like I don't know what it is, dude. Like I just this game does not look that great, but it also looks really fun. So yeah, I'm actually kind of excited for it. That's probably the only thing in this entire thing that was super cool.
Yeah,
So
well, let's wrap up some stuff out there. Street Fighter 6 got a new trailer for those of you fans out there. Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan something that speaks to me, got a bunch of new games announced. None of them, I think, need to be talked about. But then Sudokin 1 and 2, we talked about this last week. Konami was teasing some things, and we talked about the possibility of what could be. Maybe it was the week before. I don't remember. But yeah, officially, Sudokin 1 and 2 will be coming in 2023 as HD remastered versions of the original adored RPGs on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So, and then, yeah, we talked about Sonic Frontier, got a new trailer. And I don't know. There's something about Sonic Frontiers that, you know, most of me thinks this game is not going to be good, but there's a small sliver of me that's like, maybe we could have something here. Maybe it's not going to be the total trash pile that I think it's going to be. But I still don't know. To be seen, TBD, to be discussed, right?
yeah,
All right, let's move on now to Call of Duty. Had its big event, Modern Warfare 2. All the news, all the happenings have been announced. A bunch of people played it. We're going to get a chance to play it very quickly. And Logan, this being your expertise, I know you have quite a bit to talk about. So I'm going to sit back, listen to the old Call of Duty master over there, and tell me all the good things you saw in here, all the bad things you saw in it, and just talk about it for me, all right?
All right. So they showed off. I actually watched this entire showcase. Obviously, I didn't watch all the stream completely at the end with all the gameplay, but I watched a good portion of it. All right, so there's a lot to break down here. First thing first, they showcased a multiplayer trailer that not only failed because the stream had a big problem where literally half the trailer blacked out, and I at first I thought it was just my internet. Nope, they just screwed up on their end. So they redid it again. They showed it a second time right after it ended. It looked great. Very weird music choice again. I don't know what's with Activision and picking weird music, but I think it was kind of strange. The music they picked, I don't even know who the artist was, but something about being a vampire. Very weird choice in my opinion. Um, but it looked good. They so basically they showed the trailer. They showed sneak peek of Warzone 2. And then they actually had a Warzone 2 trailer where they showcased like the map and everything. But basically, to really summarize it, they showed off multiplayer. They showed that they have two new modes that look really cool. One is known as Knockout, which is basically you only get one life and you die, but then there's also like you can grab this package, and I guess this package gives you points, I believe. I didn't really I wasn't really like super stoked for this mode, but it looked okay. Now the other mode on the other hand looks very fun. I'm very excited to play, and it definitely seems like you need a good team when you play it. So basically, it's called prison extraction, a prisoner extraction. It's basically what, as most people might compare it to, it's basically what Counter Strike did with the whole. You go, you get the prisoner, and you bring them to the extraction point. It also, I guess, you can compare it to Rainbow Six Siege with their prisoner mode. Um, but basically, that mode actually looks very, very fun, especially with all the new gadgets that they announced. This game is giving me hardcore Rainbow Six vibes because they added a lot of gadgets that basically are pulled from it, which I have no problem with. I think it's really dumb when people get mad about that stuff. Like, who cares? But basically, they added some really cool gadgets to this game too. They So they showcased one that's a decoy. So if you throw it out, it pops up. It's I guess you can compare it to a couple things. They have this in Siege, but they also have it in Metal Gear Solid, where literally you put down this decoy and you have two options. You can either set it off immediately, or you can set off when an enemy is near. It will automatically set off when an enemy is nearby. And basically, it's this fully inflatable being that looks like a soldier, and it actually takes a few bullets for them to kill, which is great because if it like instant popped, I feel like it would make it a little too easy for someone to figure out if it's fake or not. But it looked really, really cool. I really like that gadget. They have a camera one where you could throw it and it sticks to walls, and you can actually use like so you could throw it anywhere. It's like a sticky, as the lady said, a sticky GoPro that spots people. So you could throw it in any window or anything. It's not just something you place. You can throw it on walls, windows, etc., and you can actually activate the camera anytime and spot people and everything. And I think it's really a good ability for example, if like there's campers, or if you're again playing the new prisoner extraction mode. I feel like that'd be very useful to throw out there, especially if you're defending. You could throw out those cameras to get a good view on if someone's trying to go steal one of the prisoners or something like that. I think that's a really cool gadget. And last but very much not least, the one I'm very hyped for. If you've ever played Rainbow Six Siege, there's a certain operator called Fuse, and basically they added the Fuse charge from Rainbow Six Siege into Call of Duty, and it is freaking awesome. You could basically throw this gadget on any wall, whether it be above you, on another wall, maybe even below you. It will literally drill into the wall and then shoot grenades in there. And it is freaking cool looking. I love it. I loved Fuse in Siege. She's like one of my favorite operators. So this gadget coming to Call of Duty is insanely cool. I'm very excited to use this gadget when I could finally play the beta. Um, wow, I mean, it is super cool. They also announced a fan favorite mode, which is kind of ironic because So, well, not fan. I don't know if it's a fan favorite, but it's a really cool mode that I'm actually really excited for, because of a certain game called SOCOM that I love. But basically, in Modern Warfare 2 Classic, they had a certain mode called third person mode. And from then on, you've never seen that mode come back again. I thought it was a really cool mode. It was really unique. It was interesting. It had its problems because it wasn't like really worked on. They didn't put a lot of effort into it, in my opinion. But they brought third person mode back again. It actually seems like they put some thought into it. You can actually swap shoulders and everything. They thought about it. And when you aim down sights, it actually goes into your scope view. It looks so good. I'm very excited to actually play third person mode. I wonder if they're going to implement it into other modes, like maybe Spec Ops. That'd be cool to see third person mode get in there. It would also be cool to maybe see in their new. I guess I'll explain it later, but I hope they put in more than just multiplayer. I hope they put in Spec Ops and all that because I think third person mode is really, really cool. It gives me very, very hardcore SOCOM vibes. I'm very excited about it. I think it looks really, really cool. Actually, especially being able to actually see your character that you are, I think is really, really cool. But again, the good thing too is a lot of people were really worried about this. So for the people that don't know this, a lot of people were really worried. They thought this was just going to be a toggle that you can go to the options and turn on and off. No, third person mode is only for specific game modes that will literally let you know it's third person. So there's no worry that like you could play in any match and turn it on because that would be very OP in my opinion. So no worries on that part, but I'm very excited for it. I think it's a really, really cool idea. I hope it isn't just a launch idea like how 2019 did the whole night vision thing and then literally basically threw that in the garbage and never use it again. I thought it was a really cool idea. So I hope this at least lasts more than a month. I hope third person mode doesn't just disappear super quickly. I think it's a really cool idea again. Um, but especially with all the animations and everything they have built for the game, it looks very, very good in third person. So, let's see. They showcased the Gunsmith 2.0. Really, really cool. Very excited about it. Actually, I believe Gunsmith 2.0 was announced before this showcase. They showed a little trailer for it, but they talked a little bit more about it in this. I think it's really, really cool. I think it's really, really badass. I think what they're doing is a little bit more interesting with what they had in 2019, Cold War, and Vanguard. This is a lot more interesting. So, the whole premise of like when Gunsmith started was everybody liked it because you can kind of turn a gun into anything you wanted to. So like if you had an M4, you can make it to more like an SMG, or if you want to, you can make it more into a DMR. Well, basically what 2.0 is doing is it basically is going even like just doing so much more with that. Basically, you can now change the receiver of your gun. So you'll start so in the beta, how they're doing it right now, just to basically showcase this, which I think is a good idea. Some people aren't liking it because they're not showcasing a ton of weapons with their gunsmith right now. They're just doing the M4 right now. But basically, with the M4 platform, is what they call it, you could switch your receiver to a bunch of different ones. So there's like an SMG receiver, there's a DMR receiver, there's a heavy machine gun receiver, and you can just change it whenever you want. And I think this is a brilliant idea. I'm really happy that they're doing this. So instead of you having to go to the gun, grind for attachments, and then switch to another gun and grind for attachments, basically what the platform is basically when you unlock attachments for that platform, it also works for the other platforms that you're using it for. So when you make an M4 platform, you lock all those attachments, but when you move over to a different platform, you'll also have those attachments for the other platform. So instead of you grinding for attachments, you'll have attachments for all the different platforms for each weapon that there is. They haven't showcased a lot of weapons yet, which kind of sucks. Like I'd like to see the AK platform. I'd like to see some other ones. But for what they showed just for the M4, super good, really, really cool. I'm really, really impressed with it. I think it looks super cool. I like the customization. It's something I always wanted with 2019. I love that you can kind of switch the gun into anything you want it to. I think what they're doing in this is a lot better. I think it works a lot better, and you could truly switch your gun now into whatever you want it to. So I'm really excited to see how many guns they do with this. Some people are being really annoying with this and are, oh well, it's technically just one weapon, so there's going to be a lot less weapons in the game. No, because they're all completely different weapons. Yes, it's built off of the same platform, but they are all completely different with different animations and different kind of recoil and everything. It's not the same gun. So looks really, really cool. I really like the Gunsmith 2.0. I think it looks really badass. I'm very excited for it, especially like that it's cutting down on the whole grind of unlocking attachments. I think that's far better than what they had with 2019. So I'm really excited for that. And I guess now I can get to the big thing. So they showcased Warzone 2, uh, and Warzone Mobile, which I'm not gonna lie, Warzone Mobile looked like dog shit. Um, it looked super bad. Like they showcased this very cinematic trailer for mobile, which I thought was very weird. Instead of just showcasing the game, then they showcased the game right after it, and oh man, it does not look good in my opinion. It looks like a very, 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 very bare boned Warzone. Like it's so it goes back to Verdansk, the classic Modern Warfare 2019 Warzone map. It's literally just Warzone as you know it. And but the weird thing is they're so this is where it gets weird. They're bringing back the classic Verdansk map, but I quote, they are bringing in all the Modern Warfare 2 stuff into it. So they're like, you're going to have the operators from Modern Warfare 2 in it, and you're going to have the Modern Warfare 2 weapons in it. So you're going to have the Modern Warfare 2, instead of just bringing the new Modern Warfare 2 Battle Royale map, they brought the Modern Warfare 2019 Battle Royale map, but they're bringing all the Modern Warfare 2 operators and weapons and etc. into this mobile version. So that basically when you're playing this mobile Verdansk map, you can unlock attachments and etc. and now also connect to your Modern Warfare 2 game. So I still think it's really weird that they chose to come up with a classic Verdansk map instead of just bringing the new Modern Warfare 2 Battle Royale map into, or the new Warzone 2.0 map into the Warzone mobile instead of just. I really think it's just a strange thing to do that they came out with the 2019 Verdansk map instead of just having the Modern Warfare 2. I can't remember the name of the map. The new Warzone 2 map
It's
instead
like
of I
Alcazar or
just think it's
something.
so weird. Yeah, I don't know why they chose to swap it like that. I think that's very weird, but then yet you still can progress your Modern Warfare 2 character and attachments and everything in the mobile version with Modern Warfare 2. So I just think it's kind of weird because like it's a weird connection where they have the 2019 map, but Modern Warfare 2 operators and guns. It's just weird. Um, but it doesn't look good either. I'm not gonna lie. It looks very bad. It looks like it's like they ported Modern Warfare 2019 into the 360, and they said, "Yep, this looks good." It looks very, very bad, very just ugly and disgusting. It just doesn't look right. Um, I don't know what I was expecting, but I was kind of expecting them to stylize it for more of the mobile. But in my opinion, it just looks like they bare bone tore it completely down, took away all the beautiful graphics that were that game, and then just made it look very ugly. And then said, "Here's the mobile port." I don't know. Maybe it'll get better, but from what I could see, it didn't look that good. I don't know what I was expecting either, but I still think it's a very strange choice to come out with the Modern Warfare 2019 Classic Warzone map and not bring the Warzone 2 map that they've created and brought it to mobile. But whatever, it's a weird choice. It's Activision. But speaking of Warzone 2, they showcased the map, they showcased the gameplay, they showcased the new um, circle system that they got going on. It's kind of weird. So instead of it just being like one big circle that keeps condensing and condensing and condensing to very small, now it splits off into three different circles. And then those circles will at some point come together into one big circle again. So it's like it shrinks, but then it separates into three different circles, and then those three circles will come into one big circle at the end. And basically, what they're trying to do with this is so they split up the fights where it's not just one big excessive fight at the end with one big circle. Um, Instead, what their idea is they're going to try to split off the fights into three different sections, so it's not so bad. Um, I think it's really weird on how it's done, but it's whatever. It looks interesting, I guess. I watched someone. I did watch one of the gameplay things of someone playing it where he got like the first basically Warzone victory for 2.0 or whatever. It was kind of weird. I also heard some pretty weird things. Like I didn't really look up all the details on this, but I heard perks aren't coming back for Warzone 2. And also, for some reason, in the build, they didn't have the buy your own create, like you can't get your loadouts, which I don't know if this was just because it was a this is like a preview build right now, so they don't have the loadouts in the game yet, or what. I don't know how they're doing it because doing is, you know how in like Mafia 3 with survival mode, where you have to go to the buy station and you can buy attachments for your gun, but you can't just get your loadouts like you could with 2019, which I think is a very interesting choice. I think it's really weird because I think everybody loves Warzone 1 for the fact that you can customize your loadouts and do it. Kind of just, it was different, but now it almost seems like they're trying to go into the whole other battle royales where you literally have to go buy attachments and get attachments specifically for your gun instead of just getting a loadout. Um, it's weird. I don't know. That's
Yeah,
what
for
I've
some more
heard. I
information
don't know
on
if this is
that.
a pre.
No, for some
Yeah.
more information on that, it says Warzone 2.0 will not be featuring loadouts and will instead be opting for a new method for players to utilize their customized weapons. Players will now be tasked with customizing various weapons with the gunsmith before the match in order to have them available at the shop. This buy station will feature various items to purchase, such as weapons, gear, equipment, and squad mates that have been eliminated. This decision was made in an effort to streamline purchases during matches. It was also revealed that perks would not be available at launch.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a little
there are no more
weird.
loadouts in Warzone.
I think it's weird. I don't know if it's bad or good. I can't really tell. It really, I think the factor that's really going to make it bad or good, in my opinion, is how easy is it going to be. Like, is it just going to be you go to the station, you see that the gun that you have in your hand, there's already like a build of your gun, I guess that you save, and you just click on it and then it's done and it's built and
Yeah,
it's
so from
good.
what it sounds
Which
like to
I think,
me, it sounds like you build your gun pre-game. So obviously in the gunsmith and all that, you have your guns that you like. And
yeah.
then when you're in Warzone, you can go to the buy stations or the shops or whatever they call it and buy that gun. Buy the gun you
You
have
know,
made between. So it's kind of similar, but it's not like you have to build full on. I personally think this is a good change.
I
Uh,
actually think so too because
I,
it
I,
could help with the whole meta
yeah, I
crap where
think
people
it'll
always.
eliminate the meta, eliminate the fact like, oh, if you're not running these three guns, then you're not winning. I think it'll lead to much more competitive gameplay in Warzone where you really do have to scrounge and loot and work with what you're able to find and what you're not able to find. Because like I've seen plenty of games where a group of people kill three people at the beginning of the game and then get the loadout which has the laser gun in it that doesn't move when you pull the trigger and they just start rolling through people. So I personally think this will lead to much more interesting gameplay, and it's much more a return to old school battle royale, if you can call it old school, but original battle royale games where you needed to work with what you were able to find. I liked the change
Yeah,
personally.
I actually, yeah, no, I mean, now that you put it that way, and also because I didn't know how I thought it was gonna be like Mafia each and every attachment. I think that's actually a really good idea. That the fact that you could literally just customize your weapon, save that build, but then when you find the gun in the game and you find the buy station, it actually makes it a lot more streamlined where you just literally click on it, buy it, done, you have all the attachments. That's actually a really good idea. I'm actually really happy with big fans of that. But I'm like, honestly, this will help with the meta thing. Actually, I think that's the biggest reason why they're doing that is so it cuts down on the meta, where literally not everybody in the lobby has laser guns, or not everybody has to build a class where it's specifically this, and then everybody does that. I like that actually. That's way better.
Yeah, I
And
think
I
it
actually
leads
really like
to
the map too so far. It
yeah.
looks great. I love the new the whole water thing now. They're adding a lot with the water. They talked a ton about the water. They're like, basically, we redid all the water. We basically wanted to add this in 2019, but we didn't have the chance to do it. So now that they finally have, had the chance, they added it in, and the water looks great. I mean, it looks like really good water. I like that you can actually swim now. There's a lot more boat combat. It looks like you can see now. There's a lot more going on. There's actually a lot more physics going on when you shoot a rocket at a vehicle. Depending on what kind of vehicle it is how much of a rocking it does. Not every vehicle will have that same effect, like physics effect, when you shoot a rocket at it. I think that's really cool. I especially like that now they're adding they're adding gas to cars now. So if you run out of gas, if you decide you want to be in this vehicle the entire game, you can actually run out of gas. I think that's a good idea because then it cuts down on the excessive use of vehicles, so then people can't use the vehicle and for the entire game. Like you will run out of gas. So I like that because that's something they brought kind of from PUBG. PUBG had that, and I like that. I thought it made it a lot less excessive vehicle use, in my opinion. It also adds a little bit of spice to the situation when you're like, oh crap, I'm about to run out of gas. I had to get to the circle real quick. Um, so I had no problem with that. I think that actually, the more I think about it, this sounds really, really good. I don't get where the complaining is. There is a lot of people complaining about all the changes, which is basically the Call of Duty community because they say that they want change, but then they get change and then they complain about the change because it's change, but then they want it change, because that makes sense. Um,
Yeah,
I think,
let me get my 2 cents in because Warzone is really what I pay attention to. That's what I'm really excited about. I think everything they had to talk about outside of the weird circles, which you did talk about.
yeah.
I don't exactly know how that's gonna work. It could be good. It could lead to more like micro battles instead of one major clusterfuck at the end of the map. But everything they had to say, the guns, the loadouts, the lack of perks, how everything works, I loved it. I think this is going to lead to much more emphasis on team composition, team battle, team know how, map knowledge, and just simply being good at the game, not having the best weapon. I think it's if you have a full team of four working in unison, shouting out targets, shouting out locations, and everybody like you know flanking, doing all these things, and really just being a team and working together is going to be the way to win and the best way to play. I can't wait for that. That's the kind of stuff that I always loved in Battlefield. I always loved, being able to actually communicate and work with as a team and coordinate attacks and coordinate effects, not effects, coordinate efforts and said like, hey, let's push this building. There's a team in there. You go in through the back. I'll go in through the front. Draw their fire down the hallway. You come in. Have the ability to do those really unique and cool, interesting plays and tactics. And from what it sounds like, it feels like that's what they're leaning into. They're leaning into the teamwork and the effort, and not just well, I have a fully maxed growl that doesn't move when I pull the trigger, so I'm going to win this gunfight probably. And
And
so yeah, good.
oh yeah, no, I was gonna say, yeah, I mean, basically every improvement that they've been doing has sounded really, really good in my opinion. Again, I don't know if you heard about my Gunsmith 2.0 thing, but it's pretty insane. I think it's really, really good what they're doing with that.
Well,
It's
yeah, the
actually,
fact that from what I gathered from it, and I think you talked about it, but I was
yeah,
away. Yeah, you only level up classes now. You don't have to level up each and every gun to unlock the attachments. You level up the assault rifle class, and then you can choose from any of the guns and any of the attachments. Right?
yeah, and
Yeah.
yes, like you get multiple platforms, and it really adds so much more customization to like what kind of gun you want, and I love it. Like it just looks so good. I also really like the interesting addition to the where you could basically jump on ledges and hold on to them. So basically, it adds more. So like when you jumped before, if you weren't able to get that jump, then you just fell. But now you have that extra chance where you can grab onto a ledge, which will add more verticality to the fact that you can jump to higher places now. You can lean. You can actually lean and like get a kill on somebody by surprising them and like aiming up with your pistol and shooting them. Um, I think it's really, really good addition to the game. It'll add more to the verticality, and from what I've seen with multiplayer matches, there's some really cool stuff you can do with it. I really, really like it. I think it's really, really cool. Again, adding more features to the way that you play the game is just, in my opinion, better. Just like they added now, you could both slide and dolphin dive in this game.
Oh,
So instead
and
of just
can
it's
we give a shout out real quick? And I'm
mhm.
over here fist pumping like champions. No more fucking slide canceling.
Yes,
Let's go.
well,
No.
people already found a way to slide cancel
Oh,
already.
I'm pissed.
And basically, from what I've seen, I literally watched a video on it. The dude instantly figured it out in like 5 minutes. Basically, when you slide now to slide cancel, you double tap the aim button and it cancels your slide.
Oh,
And
I'm
yeah,
annoyed.
people already found that within 2 minutes. It was it was a good minute. We could have been happy about that, but nope, nope. It got
They
fixed just like
tried.
that.
They did
Yeah, they
everything they
really
could.
did. Um, I will say the one interesting choice, which I don't agree with what they did, is you know how like you can cancel a reload. So like when you're reloading a gun, you're like, oh crap, someone's coming. Let me cancel this reload so I don't have to do the whole animation. Well, you can't. You literally can't. No matter what you do, you can switch your gun, switch back, you're still going to be going through the entire animation, which I think is kind of a problem. Like, I get what they're trying to stop because there are like some animations where people found little, cheats where you can make it a lot faster by reload canceling. But I feel like that's a smaller problem in the thick of it because, like, in my opinion, when you're reloading, especially if you're reloading an LMG, you literally can't stop. If you hit that reload button, you have to go through the entire animation. You can't you can't like halfway reload, switch to your pistol, and then switch back, and then like instead of I understand what they're trying to stop, but I think there's a big problem with it because it's like sometimes you're about like you only have like you only shot maybe half your mag, and you're like, okay, I want to reload. Oh crap, someone's coming. Let me cancel that reload and use the rest of that ammo to kill this dude. Well, you can't. If you hit that reload button, you're stuck. You literally cannot do anything but let it just go through the entire animation. I think this is a pretty big flaw. I get what they're trying to stop, but it's not working. In my opinion, they should have just kept it the way it was. I don't. I think that is kind of something that is going to really make a lot of people mad because like any game lets you cancel reload. I don't think this is a good idea, and pretty much the whole entire thing. I just think it's a bad idea.
I mean,
So
it makes sense from a realism standpoint. Like, obviously, if you in real
well,
life,
I
if you
mean,
if
if you pull out your mag, again, you're going to switch out to a different mag. If you see someone real quick and you can't get that mag, grab that mag that you pull. You could still use the rest of your ammo. I think there are a lot of people that have ammo reload span, like myself, that are going to run into this problem because I have a really bad problem sometimes when I shoot someone and I'm like, okay, clearly no one's around. Let me reload my gun. Oh crap, someone's coming. I press YY. I switch back to my gun. It didn't, like I didn't cheat the system or anything. I just kept the ammo I already had in the gun and I killed the dude. Well, now you can't do that. You reload, you cannot stop that reload animation no matter what you do. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it makes things way too like especially for people that have reload spam like myself. I don't like the fact that I can't cancel my reload whatsoever, especially when I'm in the middle of a firefight. Like if I had to reload an LMG and I can't stop that animation, that's bad because someone's going to come up to me and I'm going to have to switch to my secondary. And what happens if you reload your secondary too? Well, now you're stuck reloading both guns because you literally can't stop the reload. So, yeah, I think that's a really weird addition.
it sounds like you just need to be better and be
I
better
guess
prepared.
so. I think they could probably. That's one thing I feel like they could.
They'll
Like I
probably
understand what
change
they're
it.
trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that's one thing they do change. Now, some things I don't agree with people. A lot of people are complaining about the footsteps. They're like, "Oh, the footsteps are so loud. They're so this," and I'm like, "That's because they updated the audio so it sounds better, so you can actually hear footsteps now." But then, the COD community, they're like, "Well, I don't want footsteps to be heard whatsoever." It's like, okay, well, then get good. Like everyone's like complaining about the fact that what? Um so basically with people are complaining about dead silence not being in the game again per
Thank
usual.
God.
Same complaining again as always. People
I
are well, dead silence is not in the game, so this game is bad because my footsteps aren't super quiet at all freaking time. So
I'm
that's a
sorry if
problem. I think it's
I'm
super
running
dumb.
around a house and someone else
Mhm.
is in said house, they're gonna hear me. That's
Yeah.
called realism. That's called good gameplay design. There's,
Well, Call of Duty fans are kind of annoying about
which
that.
is
They don't
dumb
as soon as
because
there's even a slight realism to the game, they're like, "I'm done. I
which is
don't like
dumb
this."
because for years I've heard people bitching and complain, "Oh, I can't hear. There's no situational awareness. I can't hear where people are coming from because the audio's fucked up." And now they fix the audio, and people are like, "Oh, I can hear everything." I'm
Dude, no, trust me. It's so that's literally 90% bitch complaint. They're like, "Oh, you got elephant feet on." But you know what I'm watching? They're all tactical sprinting everywhere around the map and they're complaining about them being too loud. What do you expect? when you are sprinting real loud in real life, how does that sound, especially when you're wearing boots?
Yeah,
That
it's
doesn't
loud as
sound
shit.
quiet. That doesn't sound quiet at all. Like, I don't know where people were thinking, yeah, it's too loud. The footsteps are too loud. It's like, really? And people are calling people ear whores, where they're basically all they're doing is just sitting there and camping and listening. But no matter what, you're going to have those people. So just stop complaining. And also, people are, that's one big complaint that people are having right now is they just don't like that dead silence. Again, is one of those abilities you get. So you can get dead silence just like you could in 2019, but it's not, a perk that you can use at all times. I don't agree with people on this. I think it's really, really dumb that they're complaining about this. Maybe stop tactical sprinting everywhere, and you got to change your play style because not every Call of Duty needs to be the exact same. If you don't like it, then go play Cold War or something because that clearly probably has dead silence as a perk. If you want that arcadey Call of Duty, then go play that. So yeah, it's really, really dumb. People are complaining about that. People are complaining about the recoil, but the recoil on the guns actually look really, really good. A lot of people I've seen have really enjoyed it. But the COD community, as always, they're like, "Well, my gun isn't a laser, so no good." It's like, well, then unlock attachments and customize your weapon to make it have less recoil. Wow, that's a new idea. Just
All right,
people, man.
let's wrap it up real quick. Overall, like I said, I didn't pay too much attention to the multiplayer or the campaign stuff. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. I'm sure people are gonna like it. But I paid pretty heavy attention to the Warzone stuff, and I thought 90% of what they had to say, I was on board with. I was really excited. So I can't wait. November 16th. What do you think overall?
Um, I thought it was really, really good. I mean, I'm really, really happy with all added. I'm excited to play it. I think they've made a lot of good additions. Map design's a lot better. Gunsmith looks awesome. Operators look good. They added some cool game modes, specifically the prisoner extraction. I'm very excited for. The only thing I didn't really talk about real quick, and I'm just going to be super short. They announced DMZ is a real thing. Basically, it's going to be Escape from Tarkov in a sense, but with Call of Duty. They didn't give much details on it, but I'm excited but also scared because I played a certain game called Battlefield 2042 that tried the same thing and it ended up failing brutally. So it really depends on how well they do it. Other than that, it's great. Look good. They showed a lot of new things. I feel like they added a lot to this new game, and I'm very excited.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm super excited too. Let's keep it moving. I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about in the coming weeks about Call of Duty when we get back with DJ. I'm sure you guys have a lot of stuff to no doubt about. But again, like I said, overall, I thought really good. I can't wait for November 16th. Can't wait to hop in with Warzone with you guys. We'll get 2 days. We can play it free of Pokemon. So can't wait. All right. Let's run through some of these other stories really quickly. Just let the people out there know what's going on in the world of gaming. Yakuza came out and had a couple announcements to make. They announced 3 games, but they also announced something that I thought was kind of weird. Yakuza is no longer called Yakuza, folks. It's now called Like a Dragon, which I think is a really dumb decision, but that's my opinion. So the 3 games they announced, like we talked about, Like a Dragon, Ishin, the prequel in a sense, story-wise, to the Yakuza games set in an earlier time period. Like a Dragon 8, the sequel to Yakuza Like a Dragon, and Yakuza 6 is coming out, including both of the protagonists of the franchise now. And then Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, which is a hell of a name. But apparently this one is going to be set in between Yakuza 6 and Like a Dragon, letting us know what Mr. Kiryu was up to. So, Logan, I know you haven't played the Yakuza games. I know you want to play the Yakuza games, but now you get to play the Like a Dragon games. What do you think about the name change? Do you think it's as stupid as I do? And then just the games in general.
I think it's a really weird choice because like I thought that was just like a title of one of their last games, literally Yakuza Like a Dragon. I guess they liked it so much that they made it um the entire name now of the game. Kind of dumb. Yeah, I prefer the Yakuza title. I think it's better.
Because do you know what Yakuza means in Japanese? It just means gangster. And it's like, well,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
that's
I
what you're
didn't know
playing
that
as.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you're in
mean
the
that's
mafia.
true.
You're a gangster. It's a perfect. I think Yakuza is a fantastic name. It's iconic. It's recognizable. And now we got to say like a dragon, and it's like, okay, whatever. Outside of that stupid ass decision, in my opinion, the games are cool. I know a lot of people are excited. The Yakuza franchise is still going strong. All right, some Xbox news real quick. It came out during um, PAX West 2022. The studio head and director at Playground Games did an interview, and there was a little bit of just interesting things that come out. Apparently, he really, really, really wants to show off the new Fable game on Xbox Series X coming at some point in time in the future. He said this. Hold on, so he says every time I see it, the things that they're doing and the interesting things that they are doing, I can't wait to show off, and I want to show off. But he also says part of my job is giving air cover to the team. They don't want to show stuff early before it's ready to go. But if there's one game where that's kind of flipped around, where every time I see something I say, we should show this, it's Fable. The team has remained vivid and steadfast that they do not want to show anything until it's ready. No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know why he had the need to say this, and why he felt the need to like actually make it. He probably didn't want to make it a story, but I mean, it's 2022. Anything you say is going to be a story. Um, and oh, maybe
I
this is
love that it
like,
says proven that they get it.
yeah,
Like they keep getting antagonized to show it. Hey, like it's not ready yet. Like, can
yeah,
we like just wait, please?
and it's like one of those things like, hey, why would we pull a Halo Infinite?
Yes,
Why
please
would we
don't do
show this
that.
game when it's not ready? Why would we show this game and then delay it a year? Like, we'll
Yeah,
just
we don't
show
want
it when it's
another
ready to go.
Craig situation. Come on now.
Yeah. So thought that was a really dumb thing for this guy to say, and I don't think he meant it the way it was, but the way that he said it, and again, why would you even say, he's like, well, I want to show it, I think it's great, but the team says it's not ready, so we're not going to show it. Well, duh. Here's this painting I've been working on. It's half finished, but here you go. You can see it for the first time. Dude, I swear, they're executives are stupid as shit sometimes. I understand they have a hard job and they got a lot of shit to do, but man, executives are really dumb people sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, the more interesting Xbox news, and definitely something that you want to talk about. Um, Halo Infinite's studio head, or one of the bosses behind 343 Studios or Industries, whatever you want to say, Miss Bonnie Ross has announced that she is leaving the studio. She says in a post, while I had hoped to stay with Halo until we release the winter update, I am letting you know that I will be leaving 343 to a family medical. Wait, what? Oh, it's to a family medical issue. I'm incredibly proud of the work everyone at 343 Industries has done with Halo Infinite, the Master Chief Collection, and the Halo TV series. Interesting. It has been an honor to serve alongside the team for the last 15 years and to be a part of a universe that I love. So apparently, this family issue is.
It's biz for we're letting you go. You
Yeah.
can either
I
leave
was like, wait
or
a minute, hold
like
on
that's
here.
what it means.
Like, I'm sure there
Like
actually is something going on, and again, I'm not an asshole. If there's something that's happening, go take care of your stuff. All the more power to you. I hope everything's okay for you and your loved ones. But yeah, this does kind of feel like some media jargon that the people behind us were like, hey, we're gonna let you go. Find a way to make it sound not so
yes,
great.
yeah.
Um, and so
Like
yeah,
we're gonna let you leave without any bad juju, basically, and that's what
Yeah.
happened.
And I just there was a part of me that brings back to some of the conversations we've had in the past couple weeks about what is happening with Halo Infinite and the series as a whole. And I just I saw this as the first domino to fall, which is going to end up being a major shakeup for not just 343 Industries, but also a major shakeup and redefinition in a way of what Halo is going to be moving forward. I think this is the first domino, like I said, that we've seen. Xbox isn't happy with where uh, Halo Infinite is,
I mean,
and
to really put it into the the bright
layman's terms, yeah,
spotlight. Um, Battlefield 2042 is doing better than Halo Infinite.
I saw that. Yeah,
That's
I saw that news.
truly
That yeah,
depressing.
yeah. There's less than like 1,500 people playing Halo Infinite, and there's like almost 2,000 playing Battlefield 2042. Which, by the way, both of those numbers are not good. but
Yeah, they're not good, but like the fact that 2042 has now beat Halo is just depressing because like especially Halo has did you see that their new season has by far been the longest season in any game, like any game before it has never had a season, like no game ever, not Call of Duty, not anything has ever had a season this excessively long. I think it's like 10 months. 10 months for a season? That's insane, especially for a free to play online multiplayer game. Yeah, it's bad. It's really, really bad.
you had a
I don't know
little
if you
bit of new news to talk about. I just saw that as like, yeah, this is the first domino to fall, and what is clearly gonna be a pivot for Xbox and Halo, and I'll be interested to see in a couple years, what happens to the series and where it is in 3 to 4 years when we should be getting the next game. We'll be interested to see what's going on then. So, but you had a story that you wanted to tell the folks out there, so go ahead, take it away.
Yeah. So, this is a very interesting noise the news that dropped kind of randomly. It was actually I believe it was actually during the when the Call of Duty next thing was happening. I randomly seen this video pop up. So there's a YouTube channel I watch called Digital Foundry. If you ever want to really get any deep video game knowledge about a game and how everything works the way it does and just anything about it, watch them. They're brilliant. They're really, really good at what they do, and I love their videos, and they're very trustworthy on their stuff. So, man, oh man, was I surprised to see this video. So Halo Infinite does have offline split screen co-op. And I'm like, okay. When I first clicked on this video, I'm like, all right, it's probably a mod for PC, right? That's probably what it is. It's probably one of those things where it's like, oh, cool, if you have a PC, now you can play it offline. No. This is actually in the game. And it works so well that it's basically finished. It's insane. Like so basically what it is there's a glitch in the game where basically when you go to the campaign, click start. So like here's how it's very convoluted, but when you get it working, you should watch the video on this. It's insane how well it works. So basically, you got to go to the campaign. You have to have another person online on a different Xbox. You click start on like the campaign. You exit out of the campaign. Go to the multiplayer. Go like join a player, but then leave the player, and then you got to like go click on an option thing, switch it to offline, then you sign in with the other profile, and then boom, you join in on the multiplayer match. But then when you hit start on the multiplayer match, it'll put you into the campaign. And literally, it works basically flawlessly. It's so good that it literally is baffling that literally it's not a feature in the game. It's basically is a feature. Like it works so well. Not only do you get campaign progress, you still get achievements for both the profiles. It saves your progress perfectly. It runs perfectly. Everything about it is great. The only flaw that they found in it was literally that the fact that sometimes it'll glitch out where one screen will be nighttime and the other screen will be daytime because it kind of may screw up the daytime cycle in the open world sections. But everything else works flawlessly. They tested it on the Series X and they tested it on the Xbox, as they call it, Xbox One VCR, um, where literally it worked perfectly. Like it works really, really well. Everything about it is basically finished. And like so basically the guy he played it with his son through the entire campaign, and he tested all the different modes, the graphics modes and all that. And again, it works perfectly. Like it basically is already in the game. So it honestly just kind of is insane the fact that they put all this effort in. They clearly, did all this effort and made the split screen mode because clearly it's in the game. It works. and yet they canceled it. I don't understand. Like, it literally works. It's there. It's not a mod. It's not anything else. It's not like one of those glitches where it doesn't work properly or everything's weird. Everything works as it should. As Tom Howard or Todd Howard says, it just works because it literally does. It works. I don't understand this. Like, this is, when I watched this video and I finished it, I was just kind of like, what? Like, it's literally in the game, but they're not gonna put it in the game. I honestly, yeah, if you ever have to watch this video, go to Digital Foundry, watch their video on the Halo Infinite co and you'll be just as surprised as I am. I don't understand this. It literally makes no sense, and honestly, it's just gonna enrage more people because literally they lied about not adding split screen co-op and said that it wasn't going to work and they had to focus their efforts on the free to play garbage that they have. But yet, it's in the game, it's fully working. There's literally one glitch, and that is literally that the daytime cycle might break, but that's not game breaking. Everything works perfectly. They even tested the frame rates and everything. It's smooth as butter. Well, how? I'm so this is like the most insane thing I've seen. I just don't get it.
Well,
I don't understand.
to play devil's advocate real quick, again, coming from a guy that doesn't really have a horse in the race, but to play devil's advocate, they never said that they couldn't do it. They never said that it didn't work. They just said that they were ceasing efforts on including the mode. So, what it sounds like to me is like they did a lot of the back end stuff, but didn't do like the actual front end stuff to like where you could like join up and make it all work. And it seems like if you were able to do like, as you said, the very convoluted way of getting the front end stuff to work, the back end stuff works fine. Now that's not an excuse. I still think this is fucking stupid, and I don't know why you just didn't finish it off if you had quote unquote put in this much effort. Or in a way, again, it's one of those weird things like, was this actually something that they worked on? Is this the progress that they made, or is it just kind of like a weird, like not glitch, but like a glitch in a way to like you go through these steps and it kind of tricks the game into loading into something that it's not supposed to.
Well, and the crazy part about this is they have all the systems done for it. So when you're in the open world section, if you go too far from your player, it will do the whole thing where will die and spawn near you. When you get to a cutscene, it instantaneously jumps in. It does the thing like any other Halo split screen game does. Everything is done. Like, this isn't just a glitch. This is a fully built split screen mode that they just have hidden under a glitch. And it's so insane. Like, why don't they just upload it? People would be happy even with just this. Even if it has that glitch, just put it out there. People will be happy with that. Because in my opinion, I mean, again, even from dude's opinion, he literally like, and they're very hardcore on frame rates and anything. Like, it literally ran so smooth that it's not just basically, it is a flawless finished product. And the only problem is literally the day night cycle. So yeah, I'll end that there. There's not much more to say. I'm just kind of surprised, honestly, that they say it's canceled, but then it's finished, and it's just confusing. Like, I don't they even tried to find excuses for it, but then it's just like they don't even know what to say. Like, it's just so weird. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I've never seen a game really go this far to not come out with a finished product. It makes no sense. So,
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm not making up any excuses. It does sound like, they put in the back end work and then did put in the front end work. But hey, if you want to go out there, if you want to see how to do it, if you want to play with your friends, Digital Foundry's got you covered. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of Around the Point for this week. Let us know what you had to think about everything that we talked about. What do you think of Sony's state of play? What do you think, more importantly, of God of War Ragnarok? What do you think of Nintendo? Are you excited about The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? Hopefully you are. Did you think that Fire Emblem looked weird like me? Anything you have to say, please let us know in the comments down below on this video or over on our Patreon pages. We can't wait to talk with you guys, and we can't wait to interact with what is hopefully a growing community out there. Going on now to the review roundup for this last week. Odd week. There were a lot of games, a lot of smaller games that came out, but apparently nobody wanted to review them. So we only got 4 things for you on the review roundup for this week. Little Orpheus came out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC, and across those got different scores for everything. So on the Xbox Series X and X, it got a 75. On the PS4, it got a 68. No score on the PS5 version. And then on the Nintendo Switch, it got a 66. So not exactly sure what's happening over there, but there you go.
Why does it get? That's like drastically different, freaking numbers. Like what?
And there's no
Okay.
score for the PS5 version, just the PS4 version. So who the hell knows what's happening? All right, You Suck at Parking, the game made for Logan Bergman himself, got a 70. Metal Hellslinger, the new game that people were very excited for, a truly next-gen game, only released on PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles and PC, got an 80. And the Wayward Strand on PS5, 4, Xbox X and S, Switch, and PC got an 80. So there you go. There are your 4 games. I couldn't find any reviews on anything else from out this week, last week.
That's weird.
Yeah, who knows? Speaking about this week, out this week! On September 19th, Return to Monkey Island sees its Switch and PC release. On September 20th, Hard Space Shipbreaker comes out on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. Jack Move on PlayStation, Xbox consoles, and Nintendo Switch. Solstice on next-gen consoles, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. September 21st, Gundam Evolution comes out on PC. Then on September 22nd, No Place for Bravery on Switch and PC. Serial Cleaners on PS5 and 4, Xbox X and S, Switch and PC. Session Skate Sim on PS5 and 4 and PC. Slime Rancher 2 on Xbox Series X and S and PC. And then the Dio Field Chronicles, the next franchise from Square Enix, comes out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. And there's your week in gaming. Pretty stacked week there, huh?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. I am excited to see how Dio Field Chronicles goes. I've been hearing decent things. There's a lot of people says the game's actually pretty cool. So probably won't check it out. But and then obviously Return to Monkey Island. Hope score as well. Fantasy Critic League. Hope that gets me 10 plus points again. So all right, what do you think about any of the reviews that came out or anything coming out this week? What do you got?
I don't really got much to say about any of these. I mean, I'm curious to see how Return to Monkey Island is going to score. But other than that, not really any games that I'm like really excited to go play or try out. The only one that I guess I do want to try out is the Metal Hellslinger. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, so it seems to be getting good scores. Seems to be people like it, so it looks really cool. So I won't play it, but it looks really cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our show. Everyone who has either been watching or listening, we just wanted to take this time as always and thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Without your support, we cannot do and continue to do what we're trying to do here at the Experience Point. But please help us continue to grow by telling everyone about us, whether you like us, whether you hate us, whether you think we're dumb or smart, it doesn't matter. Just let people know that we exist. We would really appreciate it. Mr. Birdman, any last words?
As always, thank you for stopping by. Hope everybody had a good time. Hope you guys got through my little Call of Duty rant. But other than that, I hope you guys learned something. Maybe you found something that's a little bit more exciting, or maybe you could finally play Halo Infinite co-op on offline split screen. Other than that, thanks for stopping by. Hope you guys come back for the next one. See ya.
And as always, we always like to give a shout out to our Patreon Platinum members, Mr. Logan Leffler, month in, month out. We appreciate you for supporting us here and being a part of what we're trying to do here. Finally, thanks again, everyone, for listening and following along with us. I hope everyone has a great week. And as always, we'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.